Important update about YouTube playlists. Hey everyone. We've received many messages asking why our YouTube playlists aren't showing up. Do we create YouTube playlists? Yes, we absolutely do. So why can't you see them? Honestly, we're not sure. We've been in contact with YouTube support for several months now, but we still haven't received a clear answer or solution. After much discussion, our team has decided to take matters into our own hands. We believe the issue might be related to the number of playlists we've created on a single channel, possibly too many. Our solution? We're launching 2 additional YouTube channels, giving us a total of 3. This way, we can organize our audiobooks better and avoid the playlist visibility issue in the future. This change only affects our YouTube audience. If you're a patron supporter, you can still access all our audiobooks by visiting the collection menu on Patreon. Thanks so much for your time and continued support. Happy listening. This place is already a flat ground. Half a month ago, this place was still a huge pit, but after the villagers repaired it, the pit has turned into a barren flat ground. Looking around, there are no building ruins, because they have been cleaned up long ago. All traces of the Uchiha clan have been erased. Nothing was left behind. The bodies in the Uchiha clan were also buried by the village, including his parents. Sasuke finally left the Uchiha clan residence. He went to the Yamanaka clan's flower shop to buy 2 white chrysanthemums to pay tribute to his parents. As a result, as soon as Sasuke arrived here, he was grabbed by a small hand. Turning his head to look, he found out it was Yamanaka Ino. Ino's eyes were misty with tears. Sasuke, I heard from Shikamaru and Shaji. Are you guys going to leave Hidden Leaf Village? Is Haku also leaving? Sasuke knew that this girl was interested in Haku, but he still ruthlessly nodded. We are leaving tomorrow, probably early in the morning. Ino stood still on the spot. She murmured in her mouth, Haku, he is leaving tomorrow? Ino found out that her first love hadn't even started yet, and it was about to end. Watching Sasuke carrying 2 white chrysanthemums and silently leaving. Ino's small hand clenched into a fist. She was very conflicted in her heart. Haku. She didn't know what kind of decision she had made. She actually hurried back home, took out her pocket money that had been saved for several years, and stuffed all her clothes into the suitcase. Ino didn't know that outside her room, her father, Yamanaka Inoyachi, was silently watching all this through the crack of the door. Yamanaka Inoyachi didn't stop Ino. The 3rd Hokage is no longer reliable. The Yamanaka clan needs to find a new future. With these thoughts, Yamanaka Inoyachi silently placed a scroll at the door, which recorded all the secret techniques of the Yamanaka clan. He turned and left. On the other side, Sasuke had also arrived at the cemetery of Hidden Leaf Village. Looking around, there were rows of tombstones, among which there were hundreds of tombstones, which looked very new. Going over and taking a look, you can see that all the tombstones are written with the surname Uchiha, which is not generally shocking. Itachi Uchiha. Seeing this scene, Sasuke couldn't help but clenched his fists tightly, and the hatred and anger in his heart were hooked up. I must kill you with my own hands. Before that, I want to make my name, Sasuke Uchiha, spread throughout the underworld. I want the clan members in the underworld to know that I have the ability to avenge them. Sasuke walked to his parents' graves. He silently placed 2 white chrysanthemums in front of the 2 tombstones. Looking at the 2 tombstones in front of him, Sasuke was unable to calm down for a long time. On the other side, Hinata Hyuga returned to the Hyuga clan residence. Although Hayashi Hyuga had warned Hinata not to come back, Hinata rebelled once again. A father and daughter are sitting face to face at this moment. Hinata's mother is sitting next to Hayashi. She is holding a young child in her arms. We're leaving Hidden Leaf Village. Hayashi Hyuga broke the silence, saying expressionlessly. The outside world is not as good as the village. There will be many foreign ninjas who want to take your life. Your character is too weak. Once you encounter such an enemy, you must make yourself tough. Hayashi, who rarely scolded Hinata, was instead teaching her something. You have to kill them before your enemies kill you. Hayashi paused, and continued. I don't have anything to give you. I've taught you the Hyuga clan some secret techniques of gentle fist a long time ago. You just need to integrate those things to your mind, only then you can become an excellent ninja. Or say, an excellent pirate. Hinata is looking at her biological father. She found that her father's gaze was a bit evasive. He seemed not to want to look at her for too long. Hinata didn't know how to describe this feeling. Anyway, she felt that her father's heart was not as cold as it appeared on the surface. Hinata, don't ever wrong yourself outside. Don't not eat enough because of a girl's modesty. You are at the age of growing up. As long as you can eat enough, eat as much as you can. Hinata's mother spoke. She also took out a scroll and gave it to Hinata. Hinata was taken aback, and quickly took the scroll from her mother. What is this? Hinata looked at her mother curiously. Hinata's mother's eyes were filled with reluctant tears. She showed a gentle smile and replied. This is the pocket money your father and I gave you. There should be about 20 million ryo inside. 20 million ryo. Hinata was shocked. Having attended ninja school for a while, Hinata roughly knew how huge this amount of money was. A kunai made of fine steel of high quality is worth 100 ryo. Isn't this enough to buy thousands of kunai? Hinata, remember. Even if you are already Whitebeard's adopted daughter, it cannot change the fact that your surname is Hyuga. Don't let the reputation of the Hyuga clan be shamed in your hands. Hayashi was still a little worried about his weak-willed daughter. He decided to personally test his daughter's progress. Hayashi immediately stood up. He said to Hinata. Stand up, take the stance of gentle fist, we will spar before you go to the sea. Hinata was taken aback, she nodded heavily. Without much hesitation, Hinata first put the scroll given by her mother aside, and then stood up. Hinata took a very standard Hyuga gentle fist stance. Attack me. Hayashi's hands hung down, he looked like he had no defense at all. Use your strongest power, use all the killing moves you can think of. Father, I'm sorry. If it were before, Hinata would indeed hesitate and not understand. But, after sparring with Karen hundreds of times, her weak and hesitant character has changed a lot. The moment Hinata's voice fell, the corners of her eyes were wrapped in blue veins. With a lunge, she rushed towards her father, her palms faintly flowing with chakra. Gentle fist 8 trigrams 8 palms. Seeing Hinata rushing over without hesitation, Hayashi's eyes were filled with a bit of gratification and surprise. He found that his daughter had really changed. Hayashi Hyuga didn't dodge. He didn't defend himself. He let Hinata's gentle fist, 8 trigrams 8 palms all fall on him, until he kept retreating a full 8 steps. Under Hinata's somewhat astonished gaze, a trace of fresh blood overflowed from the corner of Hayashi's mouth. But Hayashi didn't get angry, instead, a smile appeared on his paralyzed face. Hinata. You have finally proven your change to me. Cough cough. Hayashi coughed heavily a few times, and said with emotion, I hope that one day I can be proud of you. The news of the Whitebeard pirates leaving Hidden Leaf Village was not concealed. There's nothing to hide. In addition, Naruto and the others were talking about this everywhere, causing the news to spread throughout Hidden Leaf Village. Just half a day's work, when it was evening, everyone in the entire Hidden Leaf Village knew about this. The Whitebeard pirates are leaving? In the Nara clan residence. Nara Shikaku, who was eating dinner, looked at his son in surprise. Did Naruto came to tell you today? Yeah. Shikamaru had eaten a lot of barbecue at noon today, and now he can't eat anything. He was holding a toothpick in his mouth, yawning boredly, and making a world-weary face. I don't know when they will come back. It's indeed a heavy news. Shikaku couldn't help but sigh. The happiest person, I'm afraid it's Hokage-sama. Indeed, Nara Shikaku was right. When the news reached Sarutobe Hiruzen, the third Hokage, Sarutobe Hiruzen couldn't help but be stunned. In the Hokage building office, Sarutobe Hiruzen widened his eyes, looking incredulously at the Anbu ninja in front of him. His emotional fluctuations were so great that he slapped the table. The Whitebeard pirates are leaving? Leaving tomorrow? Is this news true? The Anbu ninja answered respectfully. The source of this news came from the sons and daughters of Whitebeard. Hokage-sama, we Anbu believe this news is very true. Good. Good. Very good. Sarutobe Hiruzen has been frowning these days. His face is unpredictable. The wrinkles on his face are about to pinch the blue flies to death. Today, he finally showed a very excited smile from his heart. The Whitebeard pirates are finally going to leave Hidden Leaf Village. This is absolutely great news for him, the Hokage. Hidden Leaf Village is finally no longer subject to pirates. It's not easy. Recalling the previous frustrations, Sarutobe Hiruzen had a feeling of seeing the sun through the clouds. He even complained about why the Whitebeard pirates would leave Hidden Leaf Village tomorrow. Can't they leave quickly today? It's best to leave now. Of course, he also knows that his idea is just a wishful thinking. It's already rare for the Whitebeard pirates to leave tomorrow. During this period, bad news has been constantly coming to me. Today, there is finally a good news standing out. But when he thought of Whitebeard scooping up a bunch of geniuses from Hidden Leaf Village, Sarutobe Hiruzen's excited face couldn't help but stiffen. Shizue Uchiha, Kakashi Hatake, Sasuke Uchiha, Izumi Uchiha, Naruto Uzumaki. Which one is not a genius that is hard to come by in decades? Even Hinata Hyuga, who is the daughter of the head of the Hyuga clan, was also taken away by Whitebeard. Thinking of this, Sarutobe Hiruzen suddenly felt he's not that happy anymore. Another very happy person is naturally Denzo. Although Denzo had fled, he left several root informants in the village. Among those root informants, Only one person knew where Denzo was. It has to be said that Denzo knows how to avoid enemies, otherwise he wouldn't be able to hide from Nagato for so long. You know, among the people who killed Yahiko back then, Salamander Hanzo is already dead, and only Shimura Denzo is still alive. So, that special route informant, after receiving the news, immediately passed the message to Denzo outside the village through special means. Ho! Denzo let out a heavy sigh. The matter of the root assassination attempt on Kakashi failed. Kakashi became Whitebeard's son has been worrying Denzo for the past 2 days. He was worried that Kakashi Hatake would take revenge on him with the power of Whitebeard's pirate crew. By then, Denzo didn't even know if he could survive. So, he decisively left Hidden Leaf Village without hesitation and hid in a very hidden base. Yes. Root also has several bases outside Hidden Leaf Village. The most prominent is a cunning rabbit has 3 burrows. Wait until tomorrow when Whitebeard's pirate crew leaves Hidden Leaf Village, I will. Huh? Wait a minute. Denzo suddenly thought of a possibility, and his face changed a bit. They're not leaving Hidden Leaf Village to catch me, are they? After all, he is not in Hidden Leaf Village now. It's normal for Denzo to think in this direction. Denzo's face turned green. Come here. Come here. Denzo didn't have time to think more. Move the location again. Move to a farther base. In order to survive, what's wrong with being a bit cowardly? At nighttime when the moon shone at its brightest side, Iruka yawned, preparing to go to bed early. Because tomorrow is Monday, the students of the ninja school will start school again. Iruka first took a shallow bath, then wrapped a towel around him and walked out of the bathroom, and then poured himself a cup of hot milk. Just as he was about to finish this cup of hot milk, change into his pajamas, and then go to bed, Iruka's peripheral vision suddenly caught a shadow flashing outside the window. Huh? Iruka's movements paused, and he put down the milk in his hand. He held the towel with one hand, frowned, and walked towards the window. His other hand opened the window and looked outside. But he didn't see anything. His gaze turned to a tree outside the window, and he muttered in confusion. Is it the shadow caused by the swaying of the tree? Pop! Suddenly, the light in the room went out. Iruka's pupil shrank. Power outage? No way. How could there be a mysterious power outage? Linking to the shadow flickering outside the window just now, Iruka had a bad feeling. He hurriedly reached out to touch the ninja tools bag on the table, and took out a kunai from it. Iruka immediately leaned against the wall with his back, using the dim moonlight coming in from the window. He said vigilantly. Who's there? If you're playing a prank, please turn the circuit breaker back on immediately. I don't have the leisure to play this kind of prank game with you. No one answered. The room was very quiet, and the outside of the room was also quite quiet. Except for occasionally hearing a few cat calls in the distance, or hearing the rustling sound of the trees outside the window, Iruka didn't hear anything. Gulp. The tense atmosphere enveloped Iruka, making him swallow a mouthful of saliva involuntarily. A few drops of cold sweat oozed from his forehead. His hand reached for the ninja tools bag again. He wants to take out a flare for help from inside, and then quickly pull the flare to request assistance from other ninjas in the village. But just as Iruka's hand was reaching for it, but he touched nothing. What's going on? Didn't he just pull out a kunai from this position? Isn't the ninja tools bag right there? Just as Iruka was tiptoeing, trying to quietly walk to a corner of the room, he suddenly found that he couldn't lift his foot. A cold chill enveloped his ankles and soles, freezing Iruka's skin to a painful sting. What is it? Iruka hurriedly looked down and could barely see his own feet in the moonlight, which were actually covered in frost. Ice. Ice style? Haku? A name just popped up in his mind, and Iruka suddenly felt a pain in the back of his neck. A strong sense of dizziness surged into his brain, making him roll his eyes. Damn, I've been hit. This was Iruka's last thought before he fainted, and he fell to the ground. Done. The childish voice fell, and the lights in the room began to light up. Several little kids stood next to Iruka and formed a circle. He. Naruto held a long rope in his hand, and he smirked mischievously. Haku, Sasuke, Karen, let's tie up Iruka-sensei. Tie it up tightly. Chapter 235, Hidden Leaf Village's Crazy Gold Coin Explosion. Bewildered Itachi Uchiha. The next day, early morning. The first thing Saratobe Hiruzen did when he came to the Hokage building was to quickly ask the Anbu. Did the Whitebeard pirates leave Hidden Leaf Village? Soon, the Anbu ninja gave him, the third Hokage, a good news and a not so good news. The good news is that the Whitebeard pirates have indeed left Hidden Leaf Village. They left this morning. All the survivors of the Uchiha clan also left with them. As for the Uchiha clan leaving with the Whitebeard pirates, Saratobe Hiruzen had expected it a long time ago. After all, several core figures of the Uchiha clan are Whitebeard's children. Where else can the Uchiha clan go besides following Whitebeard? After all, they also don't trust the village. Sarutobi Hiruzen didn't have much reaction after he heard this. After all, he couldn't stop the Uchiha clan from leaving Hidden Leaf Village. Unless using forceful means. But if they use forceful means to stop them, what's the difference from fighting with the Whitebeard pirates? Sarutobi Hiruzen is a bit cowardly. He dares not to do it. But this is not the bad news in the mouth of the Anbu ninja, at least in Sarutobi Hiruzen's eyes, this is not bad news. So, what is the bad news? Sarutobi Hiruzen frowned, and he questioned the Anbu ninja in front of him. The Anbu ninja told him what he knew, Hokage-sama. Half an hour before the Whitebeard pirates left Hidden Leaf Village, they forcibly broke into the largest bank in Hidden Leaf Village. They took all the cash and gold stored in the Hidden Leaf Village bank. The few ninjas guarding the bank dared not resist and had no ability to resist. Sarutobi Hiruzen? What? Sarutobi Hiruzen's eyes widened, and the volume of his voice rose several degrees. Whitebeard's pirate crew robbed Hidden Leaf Village's bank before they left? Yes. The Anbu ninja said quietly. Their actions were very swift, by the time we Anbu had not reacted. They had already left with the stolen money. Sarutobi Hiruzen. He just remembered, the other party is a group of desperate pirates. Sarutobi Hiruzen's face turned somewhat green. The good news that brought him a bit of joy before, at this moment, has completely disappeared. He couldn't help but hurriedly ask. Loss. How much money was lost? You know, the funds that the Land of Fire Daimyo allocates to Hidden Leaf Village every month are all stored in the Hidden Leaf Village's bank. The most critical point is that at least 80% of the Sarutobi clan's liquid assets are also stored in the Hidden Leaf Village's bank. Under these circumstances, how could Sarutobi Hiruzen not be anxious? How could his face not turn green? The Anbu ninja quickly answered. According to the rough statistics of the people at Hidden Leaf Village's bank, the amount of paper money stolen is about 700 million ryo, and the value of the gold stolen is about 300 million ryo. Hokage-sama? What's wrong with you? The eyes under the Anbu ninja's mask suddenly widened. Because he saw that the third Hokage in front of him was completely stunned. He also saw that the third Hokage's body was somewhat staggering. Sarutobi Hiruzen did not answer him. Sarutobi Hiruzen was a bit dizzy from the bad news that the Anbu ninja said. Hokage-sama. At this time, the Anbu ninja added. According to the description of the witnesses, Whitebeard also said a sentence at that time, Hidden Leaf Village should prepare more treasures here next time. Why one of 5 major ninja village only have a few 100 million ryo and a little ryo? Sarutobi Hiruzen's eyes went black on the spot, and he fell to the ground in anger. The dentures in his mouth fell to the ground, and coincidentally, his only remaining front tooth was also knocked out. Hokage-sama. The Anbu ninja was suddenly startled. He hurriedly ran over to help. Medical team. It hurts, it's dizzy. What's wrong with me? Did I just faint? Iruka struggled to open his eyes, and found that the back of his neck was aching. The feeling he got was as if someone had used a thick wooden stick to hit the back of his neck hard. Wait. Something's wrong. Where's this? Iruka struggled to open his eyes, and suddenly widened a few points. The scenery he saw in front of him had nothing to do with his familiar home. Looking around, there was a forest in front of him. It was obviously a wilderness. Iruka also saw a group of people in front of him. Most of them were very short people. They all looked like children. Of course, there were also many adults. The clan emblem on their clothes was somewhat familiar. Isn't this the Uchiha clan's emblem? Iruka wanted to move a bit, but found that his hands and feet could not move, as if they were bound by something. Iruka's expression changed drastically. He tried hard to struggle, and at the same time looked down at his body. Rope? Don't waste your effort, this is a steel rope as thick as a finger. My Shikatsumiyaku can't break it, let alone a common ninja like you. A flat voice sounded from beside Iruka. Iruka hurriedly turned his head to look. And found a child of not great age, who was tied up with a rope just like him. What is this? Iruka looked around. He found that he and this child were actually trapped in a prison cart. No wonder he felt some bumps. It turned out that the prison cart was being pulled. Being pulled? Iruka's gaze followed the 2 chains connecting the prison cart and looked in one direction. He saw a familiar figure appear in front of him. At this point, if he still doesn't know what situation he is in, he might as well dig out his brain and feed it to the pigs. Naruto. Iruka couldn't help exclaiming, you tied me up? You kidnapped me? The familiar figure in front of him, it turned out to be Naruto, who used the prison car as today's special training project. Naruto looked back at him, showing a sunny smile. Iruka-sensei, are you awake? You've been sleeping from last night until now. You've slept for more than 10 hours. I told Karen to be lighter, but she accidentally used too much force, which made you sleep for so long. Iruka's face couldn't hold back instantly. And Karen? I'm sorry, Iruka-sensei. Karen's voice came from the left side of the prison car. After all, the teacher is a chunin, so I used a bit more force. And, who else was involved? Iruka asked a question with a twitching corner of his mouth. Karen answered, and Sasuke and Hiku. Iruka. Iruka, who was paralyzed in the prison car, was a bit at a loss, and even more desolate. So, we have already left Hidden Leaf Village? Iruka's face was complex. That's right. Naruto responded, I think we can't do without Iruka-sensei. After all, Pops said that pirates also need to have some culture, otherwise they won't have enough ability to be a team captain. So, Naruto said, we just came to tie up Iruka-sensei. This reason is too reasonable, making Iruka unable to find a rebuttal. It made Iruka want to cry without tears. But do you need such a violent method to tie yourself up? He thinks that if Karen uses a little more force, I'm afraid his neck will be broken by Karen. That. Iruka tried hard to calm his ups and downs, and then hurriedly whispered, Naruto, can you let me down and let me walk by myself? Iruka doesn't want to get on the ship. And he doesn't want to be a pirate. He is a good ninja school teacher. How come he was suddenly tied up? Iruka was thinking about how he could run back to Hidden Leaf Village. No way. Karen on the side answered for Naruto, Iruka-sensei, do you want to run? Iruka's expression changed, he quickly coughed twice, no. Absolutely not. On the other side. Hiku asked Neji next to him, Neji-kun, are you a little embarrassed? Indeed it does take a little mental building. Neji did not deny, he nodded with a complex gaze. Neji left Hidden Leaf Village with Hiku. But he hasn't recognized Whitebeard as his father yet, and he hasn't officially joined the Whitebeard pirates. Neji looked forward. In his Byakugan vision, he could see Whitebeard's tall figure. This man can give people a huge sense of oppression. Is this the man with the powerful strength to shatter destiny? Neji knew that if he wanted to have the power to resist destiny, joining the Whitebeard pirates was inevitable. And, Neji thought, the Whitebeard pirates are not the kind of extremely evil pirate group he imagined. This is more like a harmonious family. Everyone in the family has their own duties, there is no deception, no distinction between the main family and the branch family, and even more so, no caged bird curse mark. Does Neji hate such an atmosphere? No, he doesn't. He is envious. Neji is just a bit dazed. So a bird wanting to break out of its cage just needs to acknowledge Whitebeard as its father. Just as Neji was secretly making a decision in his heart. Suddenly, the voice of Whitebeard walking in front rang out. Gorrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrr observation hockey sense what's behind? Whitebeard grinned. It seems that your observation hockey still needs more practice. Oh? Kisame, who was carrying the large sword Samada, looked back. That is. Kisame's eyes narrowed. He saw a sneaky figure hiding behind a tree not far away. The reason he could see the other party was because the other party didn't notice that one of her hands had already been exposed. Interesting, it's a little brat I've never seen before. Did she follow from Hidden Leaf Village? Kisame was interested. I'll go catch her. Kisame's figure disappeared in an instant, and when he appeared again, he was already behind Yamanaka Ino. Kisame could hear the little devil in front of him letting out a sigh of relief. Phew. Luckily, I thought I was discovered. Ino followed. She, whose love brain was acting up, was fearless like a wild boar in heat. She actually left the village alone, and secretly followed behind Whitebeard's pirate crew with a suitcase. Ino didn't know why she could sneak out of Hidden Leaf Village. All she remembered was that when Whitebeard's pirate crew left Hidden Leaf Village, the two Chunin guarding the gate suddenly fainted for some reason. So, Ino took advantage of the great opportunity and ran out. Haku and the others are going far away. Ino muttered in a low voice. I need to catch up with them quickly. This place is a wilderness. If she doesn't catch up with Whitebeard's pirate crew, Ino is still a bit scared. Although Ino is also quite afraid of pirates, thinking about Haku being inside, she is not afraid. However, the next second, Ino found that she couldn't drag her suitcase. Although there were a lot of things in the suitcase, which made it hard for her to drag it before, but it wasn't to the point where she couldn't drag it. Ino was suddenly startled, and a few drops of cold sweat oozed from her fair forehead. Her slowly moving gaze shifted downward, and she saw a shadow under her feet. Gulp. Ino's throat surged, and she hurriedly looked back, and saw a shark face appearing in front of her. The scream echoed through the sky. Reach an E6 note. It lasted for a long time. In the end, Kisame watched as the little kid's eyes rolled back and she fainted in front of him. It seemed that she was frightened and fainted. TSK, do you want to follow Haku? Kisame held Ino by the back of her collar, lifting her entire body up. This clan emblem? Hidden Leaf Village's Yamanaka clan? He noticed the Yamanaka clan emblem embroidered on Ino's body. After all, Kisame had stayed in Hidden Leaf Village for a while, and he had collected some information about each ninja clan in Hidden Leaf Village. When Kisame, holding Ino in one hand and Ino's luggage in the other, walked out slowly. Everyone just needed to look back, and they could see the unconscious Ino. Is this that girl? Neji frowned. Ino left quite an impression on him. During the third round of the Chunin exams, this girl was always shouting Hiku's name behind him. Neji didn't know why, but he didn't have a good impression of her. Maybe it's because she's too loud. Ino? Hiku also recognized Ino, because during the time at the ninja school, Ino often stuck to him. Just like a piece of chewing gum, no matter how hard you shake it, you can't shake it off. Kisame came over, opened the iron gate of the prison car, and casually threw Ino in. Then, Kisame explained to Hiku, I just heard that this little kid was muttering your name. Hiku was taken aback. He immediately reacted, and he said helplessly, I didn't expect that I have left Hidden Leaf Village, and I still can't shake her off. Hiku looked at Ino's unconscious profile, and he shouted to Pops, Pops. Can we keep her? Whitebeard glanced back, and a smile appeared at the corner of his mouth. Gorrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrr absorb them all. It depends on whether she is someone you are recognized. Whitebeard gave the decision to Hiku, which is also a training for these stupid sons and daughters to stand alone. Hiku was thoughtful when he heard Whitebeard's words. Although he always felt that Ino was hard to shake off like a piece of chewing gum, he had to admire Ino's courage. She dared to leave Hidden Leaf Village alone and quietly catch up with the Whitebeard pirates. Ino is too persistent, right? Hiku gave a bitter smile. People in the ninja world generally mature early. He knew Ino's thoughts. If we leave her behind, she might die here, right? Hiku muttered a sentence. He felt that no matter whether he was interested in Ino or not, he couldn't let a girl's courage go to waste. After all, his character is like this. So, there was one more person in the prison cart, a frightened Yamanaka Ino. For the Whitebeard pirates, anyway, there is one more mouth to feed. Maybe one day Pops can have one more daughter. It can only be said thanks to Hidden Leaf Village's gold coin explosion. At the same time, somewhere in the ninja world, Pucci. The sharp blade easily beheaded a ninja, the huge head rose to the sky, and blood splashed upward. The head fell to the ground and rolled several times, the face was frozen with horror and despair. Biwajaza shook his wrist, and the blood on Kubikiribacho was shaken off. He turned his head to look at Itachi Uchiha next to him, and praised, "It's a powerful Genjutsu, as expected of the famous Sharingan. When I was in the Land of Water, I also saw two ninjas with Sharingan, one was Shizue Uchiha, and the other was Kakashi Hatake." Biwajazo TSK said, "They are the same as you, they are all ninjas of Hidden Leaf Village." Itachi Uchiha didn't make a sound. He silently took out a scroll, squatted down and sealed the head on the ground in the scroll. When he stood up again, Itachi spoke with a blank expression. "The mission to hunt down the A-level rebel Tsuchiyo of Hidden Stones Village has been completed. We should go back to report to the leader." He looks like a ruthless task machine. During the time he joined the Akatsuki organization, he was either performing tasks or performing tasks. "You are so boring." Biwajazo stepped on the headless corpse under his feet, squinting his eyes and looking at Itachi Uchiha. "I always feel you are weird being a partner with you. I can only talk a few words a day." Itachi was slightly shocked in his heart. Was he too silent and suspected by the other party? Itachi, who had never been an undercover agent, immediately realized that his behavior was not quite right. After he put away the scroll, his expression was unchanged. "What do you want to ask?" It's best to make a long story short. Itachi only wanted to complete all the tasks assigned to him by the organization. And then find an opportunity to go back to Hidden Leaf Village to find Sasuke. Because, he received a message, his younger brother Sasuke Uchiha recognized Whitebeard as his father. It was the leader of the Akatsuki organization who actively told him this information. Itachi didn't know how the other party got this information. The leader might want to use "I know you have a younger brother in Hidden Leaf Village" to hold on to Itachi Uchiha. Itachi mainly didn't expect Sasuke to actually join the Whitebeard pirates. This is completely different from what he expected, and it is also different from the fate he arranged for Sasuke. In Itachi's mind, Sasuke needs to go step by step according to his own ideas, so that he can revitalize Uchiha. But Sasuke is contrary to his own ideas. Itachi doesn't like the feeling of things being out of his control. He thinks Sasuke made a wrong decision. He needs to find an opportunity to return to Sasuke's side. To correct Sasuke's behavior. He also knows that it's not good to impose his own ideas on others. But this is the destiny of Uchiha. If Sasuke feels family affection in the Whitebeard Pirates, will he still hate his brother? Does Sasuke still have the motivation to become stronger? Itachi believes that he has always loved Sasuke deeply. Everything he does is for Sasuke's sake, and it is for Sasuke's good. His idea is not wrong. The various thoughts that flashed through Itachi's mind were finally interrupted by a sentence from Biwajuzo. You finally willing to talk with me? As for what to talk about, Biwajuzo grinned. Why not? Let's talk about why join the Akatsuki organization. Itachi. For a moment, Itachi suspected whether his identity was exposed. But Biwajuzo's tone is also very relaxed, just like normal talking. Itachi was a little wary in his heart. If the other party suddenly makes a move, he will immediately use Tsukami. When my life is quite confused, the Akatsuki organization suddenly appeared. Everything went smoothly and naturally joined. Itachi's answer was ambiguous. He did not tell the truth. Then I'm different from you. Biwajuzo carried Kubika Ribicho, he said. I lost interest in this ninja world, just so. The philosophy of the Akatsuki organization makes me feel a bit interesting. Biwajuzo also did not tell the truth. Itachi is for Hidden Leaf Village, undercover in the Akatsuki organization. And Biwajuzo is for Hidden Mist Village, undercover in the Akatsuki organization. Chapter 236, Whitebeard's New Son and New Daughter. Saratobe Hiruzan, Inoshikacho defected? In the evening, Yamanaka Ino woke up. The first thing she woke up, she was scared and looked around in a hurry. Her memory only stayed on the shark face before she passed out. At this time, Ino found that there were many bonfires around her, and there was a faint smell of barbecue all around. Gurgle gurgle. Ino's little belly started to call. Because she hasn't eaten anything from morning till now. Wait. Ino woke up suddenly. She realized that she seemed to be locked up. And she was also locked up with two other people. One of them, Ino didn't know. She thought this person also looked pretty good, but definitely not as good-looking as Haku. And the other person, even if he turned to ashes, Ino would recognize him. Ino's eyes widened. Iruka-sensei? Why are you here too? Shouldn't you be in Hidden Leaf Village? Iruka looked helplessly at Yamanaka Ino in front of him. Facing his student, Iruka said. Shouldn't it be me asking you first, why are you here, Ino? Well. Haha. That's a long story, ha ha ha. Ino laughed awkwardly, scratching her head in embarrassment. Because she had secretly left Hidden Leaf Village in a way that was like running away from home. Creak suddenly, a sound of metal friction came from the side, and the iron gate of the prison cart was opened by someone. Ino turned her head and looked. The puzzled look on her face instantly turned into surprise. Haku, it's me. It's me. I'm Ino, Yamanaka Ino. The person who opened the prison cart was indeed Haku. Ino, calm down. Haku said helplessly. Okay. Ino hopped down. Just as Iruka also wanted to follow Ino down, the door of the prison cart was directly closed by Haku. Haku gave Iruka a sly smile. Iruka-sensei, you might have to stay here for a few days, until we get far away from Hidden Leaf Village, then we'll release you. Iruka knew very well what Haku was planning. As long as they get a certain distance away from Hidden Leaf Village, even if he gets out of the prison cart, it would be very difficult for him to run back to Hidden Leaf Village in a short time. By then, he would really be tied to the pirate ship. Ino, why did you sneak over here? Haku couldn't help but voice his doubt. Ino was a bit shy and twisted, her fingertips were pinching the corner of her clothes. Because Haku is leaving Hidden Leaf Village, I also want to follow Haku and leave Hidden Leaf Village together. Such an answer did not surprise Haku. Haku sighed lightly. Are your father and mother willing to let you go? Ino thought for a moment. She took out a scroll from her bosom. This was left at my door when I was preparing to sneak away in the early morning. When I opened it, it was full of our Yamanaka clan's secret techniques. Ino continued. Perhaps, my father and mother knew, and they also allowed and supported me to do this. Oh my goodness. Can they just hand their daughter over to the pirates? So, Ino, do you want to stay in Whitebeard's pirate crew? Haku thought for a moment and felt that Ino was quite interesting. At least, her courage was recognized by him. Want. Others might hesitate for a while before joining Whitebeard's pirate crew, even Naruto was no exception. Naruto was also slightly hesitant at first. But Ino was different. As long as Haku was in Whitebeard's pirate crew, Ino would join Whitebeard's pirate crew without hesitation. On this point, Ino had no hesitation, no modesty, she only had the love of a girl's budding heart. Of course. At her current age, she can't even be considered a girl, at most she can only be considered a little girl. But who made everyone in the ninja world generally precocious? There was Itachi Uchiha who exterminated his clan at the age of 13, Now, there was Ino, who ran away with her crush when she was only 7 years old. This kind of early mature is commonplace to everyone. Haku, as long as I join the Whitebeard Pirates, can I become a family with you? Ino actually took the initiative to grab Haku's hand, and then asked enthusiastically, just like you, Sasuke, Naruto, and Karen? That's right. The enthusiasm shown by Ino made Haku a bit overwhelmed. Then I also want to join the Whitebeard Pirates. Ino's eyes almost glowed. She hurriedly said, I also want to become a family with Haku. Haku. Then, I'll take you to meet Pops. Haku's consciousness was a bit dazed. Is it so simple to pull someone into the Whitebeard Pirates? Or is it that Yamanaka Ino is a special kind of person? After all, compared to others, Yamanaka Ino is almost completely sticking to him. The reason used is also a bit simple. Simple to the point of absurdity. Just as Haku was taking Ino towards the direction where Pops was, suddenly someone else followed. Haku turned his head in surprise and found out it was actually Neji Hyuga. Neji? Haku was a bit surprised. Do you want to come together too? Neji first glanced at Ino, who was like a rotting wild boar. Then he pulled a face and said to Haku, if I were to be surpassed by this kind of person, it would be a bit too shameful. Hey. What do you mean by being surpassed by this kind of person? Ino's delicate little face wrinkled. You look familiar. Ino suddenly found this person looking very familiar. It's you. She suddenly remembered, the genius of the Hyuga clan's branch family, Neji Hyuga. Previously, Ino was also involved in the group of little kids who killed the old Hyugatsu of the Hyuga clan. Ino and Neji have also been temporary team members. They are all accomplices who killed Hyugatsu. Seeing that Neji didn't continue to deal with her, Ino pouted her mouth and muttered, why are you so weird? But the next second, Ino couldn't speak, because Haku had already brought them both to Whitebeard Pops. At this moment, Whitebeard was sitting on the ground carelessly. On his left sat Kakashi, the storage jar of the Whitebeard Pirates, and on his right sat Tsunade holding a wine bowl. Gulp 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 burp. Ha. Whitebeard and Tsunade, the wine in the two big and small wine bowls poured into their mouths. The two old alcoholics were surprisingly congenial. Whitebeard put the huge wine bowl on the ground, his empty eyes glanced at the drunken Tsunade. Gorrrr. Tsunade, you weak. You're drunk after only 10 bowls. Tsunade burped, her face flushed with drunkenness. Burp. I'm just letting you in, old man. Tsunade was obviously slurring and stuttering. But she still stubbornly poured herself another bowl of wine, but this bowl of wine hadn't even taken a sip. She fell to the ground. When she was about to hit her head on the ground, Shizune on the side hurriedly reached out and supported Tsunade's body. Tsunade-sama is so soft. Ah, damn. Shizune hurriedly changed the position of her hands supporting her. She looked helplessly at Tsunade. Tsunade-sama. You drank too much tonight, didn't you? Yes, Tsunade and Shizune, this pair of master and disciple, also followed the Whitebeard Pirates team. Although they did not join the Whitebeard Pirates, but because they promised to treat Kimimaro. But Kimimaro is on the side of the Whitebeard Pirates. They can only follow along. Gorrrr. Whitebeard's mouth curled up, letting out a hearty laugh. It seems I still have the upper hand. Then, Whitebeard's gaze fell on Haku, Ino, and Neji, these three little devils who were not very old. So, foolish son, did you bring them over for something? Whitebeard asked with interest. Haku immediately answered Whitebeard. Pops, this one is called Neji Hyuga, this one is called Yamanaka Ino, both of them want to join the Whitebeard Pirates. At this point, Haku added. I think both of them are very suitable to be crew members of the pirate crew. Among them, Neji is recognized as a genius in the ninja school. Ino is also the eldest daughter of the Yamanaka clan in Hidden Leaf Village, and she is the one who secretly followed behind us. Oh? Whitebeard scrutinized the two little brats from Hidden Leaf Village with his gaze. Under Whitebeard's gaze, both Neji and Ino couldn't help but feel a sense of tension. Whitebeard's burly physique alone was enough to give people a great sense of oppression. That height of 666 meter, even if he was sitting cross-legged on the ground, it would require two little kids to look up exaggeratedly to barely see Whitebeard's face. Under the flickering firelight of the bonfire next to him, Whitebeard's face was hard to see clearly. This kind of atmosphere made Neji and Ino even more nervous. Their breathing involuntarily became a bit rapid. The frequency of their heartbeats also accelerated. At this time, Whitebeard suddenly spoke, breaking the silence. Gorrrr. You two little brats want to join the Whitebeard Pirates. What's your reason? Let me hear it. Reason? Neji and Ino couldn't help but look at each other. In the end, it was still Neji who plucked up the courage first and said. I want to acknowledge you as my father, to gain the power to break the cage of destiny in the Whitebeard Pirates. I want to join the Whitebeard Pirates and have a real family. Me. Seeing that Neji had taken the lead, Ino also plucked up her courage and hurriedly said. Because I want to become Hiku's family, just that simple. Both of them were a bit uneasy after saying a few words. They both spoke their most sincere thoughts. They didn't know if their sincere reasons. Could they move Whitebeard? Gorrrr. Whitebeard grabbed the wine bowl next to him with one hand and poured all the wine in the bowl into his mouth. Then, he grinned and said to the two little devils below. So what do you think? How should you call me? How to call? Grandpa Whitebeard? Whitebeard Dono? Whitebeard-sama? Whitebeard-san? In a short moment, Ino and Neji had one address after another popping up in their minds. But their subconscious told them that the call was not that simple. Ino couldn't help but glance at Hiku next to her. A sudden flash of inspiration made Ino's eyes light up instantly. This time, it was her turn to rush in front of Neji, hurriedly bowing deeply to Whitebeard, and it was a respectful bow of 90 degrees. Pops. Ino said the address that Hiku had said to Whitebeard. Neji. Although Neji felt that this woman called Yamanaka Ino was very loud and always made him feel a bit uncomfortable. But at this moment, he had to admit that her mind was very quick. Why didn't he think of this address just now? Why didn't he realize just now that this was such a hint? Neji also imitated Ino's appearance and shouted to Whitebeard. Pops. For the people of the Whitebeard Pirates, this is indeed a rare sight. Because, every time someone recognized Pops as their father, they came one by one. This time it's completely different. It turned out to be two little kids want to recognize Pops as their father at the same time. It seems that Hiku has successfully brought two new members to the pirate crew. Naruto was a bit emotional. Neji, Ino, they are both our family. Neji Hyuga. Sasuke was somewhat interested in Neji. He thought this was an opponent on par with himself. When practicing with Naruto, Sasuke was always crushed by Naruto, and even crushed by Hiku. But if he practiced with Neji Hyuga, who was once the top genius of the ninja school, should he be able to tie with the other party? Or, with his current strength, can he already defeat the other party? Sasuke was eager to try. Karen was interested. It seems that Ino really is very persistent towards Hiku. Speaking of this, Karen couldn't help but look at Hinata next to her, just like Hinata. Hinata's little face turned red all of a sudden. What? What is it the same? Karen giggled, because, when you joined the Whitebeard Pirates, Hinata, it was for Naruto. Now Ino joins the Whitebeard Pirates, it's for Hiku. Karen, a little devil, sighed, this might be the power of love. With this sentence, Hinata's little face turned even redder. But she didn't refute. In this way, the core crew of the pirate group has broken through 12, right? Izumi Uchiha sat among a group of Uchiha survivors. She was also looking at Ino and Neji, who recognized Pops as their father. This is the charisma of Pops. Kakashi, who had already joined the Whitebeard Pirates, couldn't help but sigh. In the prison cart, Iruka didn't expect that Ino sneaked over, actually to join the Whitebeard Pirates. This made Iruka's mood quite complicated. He didn't know what to say. The key is that from what Yamanaka Ino just said, it seems that the head of the Yamanaka clan is very supportive of Ino joining the Whitebeard Pirates. What is this? Could it be that the Yamanaka clan of Hidden Leaf Village wants to lean towards the Whitebeard Pirates? Does the Yamanaka clan want to follow the pace of the Uchiha clan? Gorrrr, is this the sincerity of you two little brats? Whitebeard laughed loudly. As a pirate on the seas, your voice can't be so small. I can't hear. I can't hear at all. Louder. Little brats. Whitebeard's words made Neji and Ino take a deep breath. They almost shouted out in unison, Pops. This time the voice seemed to echo through the sky, startling many birds of the night. Gorrrr. Good. Pirates should have such a spirit. Whitebeard was very satisfied. With his words falling, Whitebeard also recognized Neji Hyuga and Yamanaka Ino. From this moment on, Whitebeard has one more daughter and one more son. So, does that mean? Ino swallowed nervously, unable to contain the excitement on her face. Am I already a member of the Whitebeard Pirates? Whitebeard extended a finger, lightly tapping Ino's head. Foolish daughter, isn't what Pops just said clear enough? Whitebeard grinned broadly. You two little brats are naturally my sons and daughters. Gorrrr. But. Whitebeard's smile suddenly took on a teasing tone. Becoming a child of mine is not an easy thing. So, starting from tomorrow, you two will also join the special training queue. Special training? This term gave Ino a bad premonition. The children that Whitebeard wanted to raise were naturally not those who were pampered. He needed every son and daughter to have the ability to stand alone. If converted into the strength unit of the ninja world, Whitebeard wanted to train every child to at least a Jonin level. If he could train them all to Kage level, that would be even better. Gorrrr. You guys. Whitebeard shouted at everyone. What are you still dazed for? Shouldn't we hold a banquet to welcome the joining of 2 new family members? Meanwhile, Hidden Leaf Village, Hokage Building. Recently, Sarutobi Hiruzen has been busy until late at night every time. Because there were too many things happening in Hidden Leaf Village, every single thing required him, the 3rd Hokage, to handle personally. This made Sarutobi Hiruzen's workload almost several times heavier. Sarutobi Hiruzen was reviewing documents while touching his mouth. His face was somewhat dark. Because early this morning, he was so angry about the Whitebeard pirates robbing Hidden Leaf Village's bank that he fainted and broke the last tooth in his mouth. After finally waking up, he, the Hokage, still couldn't rest. He still had to deal with the village's affairs. Sarutobi Hiruzen had never felt before that being a Hokage could be so troublesome. Hokage-sama, there is the latest intelligence news. Suddenly, an Anbu ninja jumped in from the window. The appearance of the Anbu ninja made Sarutobi Hiruzen glance sideways. What intelligence? The Anbu ninja answered. The Chunin teacher of the ninja school, Amino Iruka, is missing. The eldest daughter of the Yamanaka clan, Yamanaka Ino, is also missing, and the genius youth of the Hyuga clan, Neji Hyuga, is also missing. Among them, there are signs of fighting in Amino Iruka's home, and the symbol of the Whitebeard pirates is carved on the walls of his home. It is suspected that he have been forcibly taken away by the people of the Whitebeard pirates. Yamanaka Ino's last appearance is at the gate of Hidden Leaf Village. Coincidentally, the Whitebeard pirates had just left less than a minute. She is suspected to have followed the Whitebeard pirates. The Anbu ninja paused, and continued. In addition, Tsunade-sama and her disciple Shizune seem to have also left Hidden Leaf Village. According to our investigation, it should also be related to the Whitebeard pirates. Sarutobi Hiruzen. Sarutobi Hiruzen almost blacked out again, but he quickly pinched his thigh, using the pain to make himself slightly sober. When the Whitebeard pirates left Hidden Leaf Village, not only did they rob Hidden Leaf Village of its wealth, but they also robbed Hidden Leaf Village's young talents. Sarutobi Hiruzen was so angry that he almost vomited blood. Hokage-sama, our people have communicated with the head of the Yamanaka clan, Yamanaka Inoyachi, and found. He seems to be quite calm about this matter. An Anbu ninja suddenly added. Sarutobi Hiruzen frowned. Calm? The Anbu ninja nodded. So, we reasonably suspect. Yamanaka Ino leaving Hidden Leaf Village with the Whitebeard pirates is an act tacitly approved by Yamanaka Inoyachi. Sarutobi Hiruzen. What does it mean? Did Ino Shikacho defect? Chapter 237, Will of Fire times, Will of Pirates? Whitebeard and Moby Dick. Although among the Ino, Shika, Cho clans, only the Yamanaka clan is a bit off. But Sarutobi Hiruzen is very clear that these 3 clans usually have the same thinking. Among them, even if only one Yamanaka clan goes in the wrong direction, the other 2 ninja clans will also follow the Yamanaka clan in the wrong direction. And, by doing this, is Yamanaka Inoyachi sending a signal to the other 2 ninja clans? As long as you think deeply in this direction, the expression on Sarutobi Hiruzen's face becomes a bit gloomy. Whitebeard pirates has been stealing so many young talents from Hidden Leaf Village. As one of the Ino, Shika, Cho clans, the Yamanaka clan did not help him, the 3rd Hokage, let alone, they even turned their arms out and turned to the Whitebeard pirates. If the arm of the Yamanaka clan is turned to Shimura Denzo, or Midokado Hamura, or Utatane Koharu, Sarutobi Hiruzen's mood wouldn't be so bad now. Logically speaking, he should now ask someone to bring Yamanaka Inoyachi over. But think about it, no matter how he questions the other party will not tell him any truth. And if you take a tough approach, the hearts of the villagers will fluctuate. Originally, after the village dealt with Uchiha clan has already made all the ninja clans in the village uneasy. If you target the Yamanaka clan again, how should other ninja clans see it? And what is their thinking? Thinking in this direction, Sarutobi Hiruzen found that he couldn't move the Yamanaka clan at all. Inoyachi, good. Sarutobi Hiruzen's face was uncertain. Your intelligence and tactics are not much worse than Shikaku. Once the seed of doubt is planted, Sarutobi Hiruzen begins to look at the entire Yamanaka clan with bias. Although the eldest daughter of the Hyuga clan's main family also joined the Whitebeard pirates. But according to Sarutobi Hiruzen's understanding, that was not Hayashi Hyuga giving his daughter to the Whitebeard pirates. It was Hinata Hyuga who voluntarily joined the Whitebeard pirates and voluntarily left the Hyuga clan's main family. The Yamanaka clan is different. The attitude of Yamanaka Inoyachi. Doesn't it just show that he deliberately sent his daughter to Whitebeard? Send someone to watch the Yamanaka clan. Sarutobi Hiruzen took a deep breath, trying to calm his thoughts. He ordered the Anbu ninja in front of him. Once there is any abnormality, immediately report to me. Yes, Hokage-sama. The Anbu ninja immediately nodded. He watched as the Anbu ninja turned and left, closing the door behind him. Saratobe Hiruzen leaned back in his chair, powerless. Every aspect of the village was gradually slipping out of his control as Hokage. In the end, it was all because his reputation had collapsed. Before his reputation had collapsed, even if he had been beaten up by Whitebeard, the hearts of the people in the village were still with him as Hokage. But ever since Naruto revealed everything in front of so many people, and various conspiracy theories were spreading in Hidden Leaf Village, many people in the village had different thoughts. Saratobe Hiruzen felt the Yamanaka clan was just the beginning. He reasonably suspected, was Iruka really kidnapped by the Whitebeard pirates? Or did Iruka voluntarily join the Whitebeard pirates, but he was embarrassed, so he faked the scene? Bang! Saratobe Hiruzen gritted his teeth and slapped the table. Does everyone not see me as Hokage? Fire style, great fireball. Sasuke spat out a fire style, great fireball, and Neji, who was fighting him, quickly jumped back to avoid the attack. Neji's eyes were surrounded by blue veins. He threw 2 shuriken at Sasuke with a backhand, and then chased after the shuriken. As Sasuke hurriedly dodged the shuriken, Neji had already set up his gentle fist stance, gentle fist, 8 trigrams 8 palms. In just the blink of an eye, 2 of the 8 attacks hit Sasuke, and the remaining 6 missed. Sasuke found that he couldn't gather chakra in his left hand, and the acupoint on his left arm that was hit was faintly painful. But Sasuke's face didn't change much. He kicked high towards Neji's right neck. Neji blocked with his hand, but didn't expect the force of Sasuke's kick to exceed his expectations. Neji was kicked and staggered. But his reaction was also very quick. He immediately took out a kunai from his ninja tools bag and stabbed it at Sasuke's leg that hadn't had time to retract. But when his Byakugan looked at Sasuke, Neji's movement paused. A clone? When was the clone jutsu completed? The Byakugan could see the clues at a glance. Neji changed his movement. Without hesitation he turned around and stabbed the kunai behind him. At the same time, Sasuke, who appeared behind Neji, was also holding a kunai and stabbing at Neji. Both of them paused at the same time, and both kunai were against each other's throats. The 100th tie. Karen's voice rang out. You could see that Karen was acting as the referee for Neji and Sasuke's fight. Karen, drenched in sweat, helplessly said to the two of them. In just 10 days, you guys have fought 100 times. It had been 10 days since the Whitebeard pirates left Hidden Leaf Village. Even while on the move, Karen and the others did not stop the gain in special training. While walking, they carried weights to improve their strength and endurance. When it was time to rest, they could do some other special training. Such as weighted horse stance, weighted sit-ups, fighting. Anyway, there was hardly any real rest time. Huff, huff. Another tie. Sasuke retracted his kunai, panting slightly. The next second, Sasuke's mouth curled up. Strictly speaking, I win every time, because I'm a year younger than you. Neji couldn't refute. After all, Sasuke had been with Whitebeard longer than he had. Neji was also panting heavily, having fought 10 times in a day. He was already drenched in sweat. Next time, I will definitely win, because I have figured out your combat routine. Neji also had a confident smile on his face. Just then, a violent roar sounded from another place, attracting the attention of both of them. Seeing this, Sasuke's mouth twitched slightly. Naruto's strength is still so exaggerated. Neji agreed deeply. While we are fighting each other, Naruto has already found Kakashi to spar. They would be lying if they said they weren't envious. But there was no jealousy. Rasengan. Naruto's Rasengan wrapped in armament haki made a big noise. Even the ground was blasted out a pit with a diameter of several meters. But his attack did not hit Kakashi. Kakashi used a Hidden Leaf Village teleportation jutsu, appearing behind Naruto. Kakashi's position was instantly captured accurately by Naruto's observation haki. Wind style, wind cutter technique. Naruto turned around and spat out an invisible wind blade. The wind blade quickly swept away, cutting a large tree behind him in half at the waist. Seeing the tree under his feet starting to fall, Kakashi hurriedly jumped up. Really, you are already so powerful at such a young age, do you have to be so exaggerated? Minato-sensei's talent wasn't so outrageous, was it? Kakashi's face showed a bit of helplessness. He was forcibly pulled over by Naruto to fight. Kakashi believed that Minato-sensei at Naruto's age might not be as good as Naruto. It's really blue out of blue and better than blue. The amazing perception ability of observation haki is indeed a bit troublesome. Kakashi clapped his hands, but with this ninjutsu, can you perceive my real body? Shadow clone jutsu. Suddenly, Kakashi, who jumped into the air, divided into 2, and 2 into 4. The unique clone jutsu made Naruto's immature observation haki unable to capture his real body. Lightning style, 4 corners Brahma lock. All four Kakashi's palms emerged a ball of lightning. The lightning turned into an electric arc and connected to each other, forming a square. When Kakashi landed on the ground, the lightning just happened to trap Naruto in it. All four Kakashi decisively sprinted in different directions. The square formed by the connected electric arcs quickly shrank. "I'm surrender." A word from Naruto made the four Kakashi hurriedly stop their steps, almost tumbling to the ground. He used so much chakra. He originally wanted to teach Naruto a lesson, let Naruto be honest, and not always think about finding him to practice. As a result, Naruto actually shouted surrender directly. This was obviously beyond Kakashi's expectation. Naruto didn't see the expression on Kakashi's face that was a bit uncomfortable. He muttered thoughtfully, "Without the power of the big fox, I still have a gap compared with Kakashi uncle, huh? Uncle Kakashi. What is this ninjutsu?" Naruto quickly showed a curious baby expression again. The lightning in Kakashi's palm dissipated, and the three shadow clones also disappeared. He opened one dead fish eye and answered, "This is lightning-style ninjutsu, you don't have lightning attribute chakra. Even if I teach you, you can't exert its power." Naruto shook his head, "I'm talking about your strange clone jutsu, it actually has a physical body like a water clone." Naruto has seen the water clone jutsu of Hidden Mist Village. This special clone jutsu, it's hard for observation haki to sense where the real body is. It could also be that his own observation haki is not well trained. If it were Pops, he would definitely be able to tell which one is Uncle Kakashi at a glance. This is the Shadow Clone Jutsu, a B-rank ninjutsu. It can be used to create one or several clones with physical bodies, and the clones will evenly distribute the chakra of the original body. The clones have a relatively independent consciousness, and also have a bit of resistance to attacks. After the clone is dispelled, memories and experiences can all return to the original body. Kakashi explained. "Oh, right." Kakashi suddenly thought of something. He touched his chin. "This ninjutsu is quite suitable for you, especially a forbidden jutsu derived from this ninjutsu. It's very suitable for people like you who have a lot of chakra." The forbidden jutsu he was referring to was the multiple shadow clone jutsu. Forbidden jutsu? Uncle Kakashi. Teach me. Teach me. Naruto's eyes lit up. The gears of fate began to turn. On the other side, where the leaves dance, the fire is also endless. The shadow of the fire illuminates the Whitebeard pirates. New leaves will sprout. In front of Iruka were dozens of Uchiha clan children, he said with a straight face. This is the will of fire. In summary, you young people are the cough. You are the hope of the Whitebeard pirates in the future. The executives of the pirate crew need to protect you fresh tender leaves, even if it costs their lives. Not only because you are family, but also because you are the future. When you grow up, you also need to spread your wings, protect the newcomers of the pirate crew, protect the younger pirates of the pirate crew. Iruka knew that his current explanation of the will of fire was a bit different from the textbooks of Hidden Leaf Village. But this was also unavoidable, if he copied the textbooks of Hidden Leaf Village to teach these Uchiha clan children. Iruka felt that the next second, Whitebeard's great sword would appear above his head. A strong desire to survive made Iruka's will of fire somewhat flexible. Recently, Iruka no longer had to sit in the prison car. Because this place was very far from Hidden Leaf Village, even if Iruka wanted to run back to Hidden Leaf Village at full speed, it would probably take several days. He knew that he couldn't run away. He had to go with the Whitebeard pirates. He had gone from being a ninja school teacher to being a pirate teacher. Iruka was crying without tears in his heart. Iruka-sensei. At this time, Uchiha boy about 5 years old raised his hand and asked. Can you directly teach us ninjutsu? We also want to be as powerful as Naruto and Izumi. Iruka twitched at the corner of his mouth. This was a bit too difficult for him. Because no matter if it was Izumi Uchiha or Naruto Uzumaki, Iruka felt that he couldn't beat them. Cough, cough. Iruka said with a strained expression. Now you guys, it's not time to learn ninjutsu yet. If you want to learn ninjutsu, you have to be at least 6 years old. Learning ninjutsu and extracting chakra too early can affect physical development. At least, for people with ordinary talent, this is indeed the case. Iruka looked around at the little devils of the Uchiha clan. He continued. Now you guys must firmly remember, the will of fire is not only the will of the ninja, but also the will of the pirate. Protection, trust, entrustment. Ninjas, pirates, and family, some of the philosophies can be connected. It must be said that Iruka, who has received professional teacher training, has a unique talent in teaching. At least he managed a group of Uchiha clan's children quite well. The only drawback is that Iruka has no salary as a teacher on the Whitebeard pirates. Purely powered by love. Purely a tool person. In the blink of an eye, several days passed again. The Whitebeard pirates had another trek. They had left Hidden Leaf Village for a full 15 days. At this time, Whitebeard's nose suddenly moved, as if he smelled something. He grinned with a hearty and heroic smile. Gorrrr. Little brats. I smell the sea. The wind blowing in the face now is the sea breeze. They are not walking aimlessly. The Whitebeard pirates are going to a specific location given by Hidden Mist Village. The destination of the Whitebeard pirates is naturally a larger seaside port in Land of Fire. Because only a large enough port can accommodate the Moby Dick, a super large pirate ship. Capturing the tailed beasts is a more long-term goal for the pirate group. The first goal of the pirate group is naturally to accept the Moby Dick built by Land of Water. It really is a sea breeze. Hoshigaki Kisame also sniffed the breeze blowing in his face. He who is good at water-style ninjutsu can even feel that the humidity of the surrounding air has increased a lot. Kisame suddenly grinned. Land of Fire is really big. From Hidden Leaf Village to the seaside, it actually takes 15 days to walk. Although, part of the reason is that they did not walk fast, but it cannot be denied that the territory of Land of Fire is indeed large. The sea. Shizue laughed. It's a pity that I can't see anything with both eyes, otherwise, I could use a pair of eyes to see what the Moby Dick looks like. Uzumaki Faashi said, according to the time given by Hidden Mist Village, the Moby Dick should have already stopped at the port. A large ship is indeed parked at the port of a town in Hidden Leaf Village. The huge ship compared with other ships, is like comparing a giant whale with a group of small sharks. Such a large ship parked here is naturally very eye-catching. Even if you use your butt to think, such a large ship must be expensive. So the ninjas of Hidden Mist Village temporarily stayed here to guard the pirate ship. Once someone with ulterior motives wants to approach the Moby Dick, then they have to see the horror of the blood Hidden Mist Village ninja. Clap. 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 Maître Mummy stood on the plank of the Moby Dick. She slapped the hull hard. With her elite Joan and strength, these slaps can break the plank is not a problem. But when it was slapped on the Moby Dick, it didn't leave any traces, it just knocked off a bit of dust on the hull. Such hard wood. Maître Mummy couldn't help but sigh. It's worthy of a big ship that cost nearly 1 billion taels. Such a sturdy ship is definitely a terrifying beast at sea. Just hit it casually, and it can smash a bunch of ships. I'm afraid even the giant whales in the deep sea dare not challenge this ship. Maître Mummy. Just then, a panicked shout came from below. Maître Mummy. Maître Mummy looked down. What's wrong? You look to the west quickly. The Hidden Mist Village ninja below hurriedly shouted. West? What's in the west? Maître Mummy frowned. She looked up in the direction of the west. It was afternoon at this time. The sun in the west made her eyes a bit sore. Just as Maître Mummy squinted her eyes and carefully looked at that side, her pupils suddenly shrank. In the distance, a familiar and robust figure made Maître Mummy gasp. That man, she would never mistake him. It's Whitebeard. The new Whitebeard pirates met with the Moby Dick. Chapter 238, 4th Raikage vs. Whitebeard pirates. Raikage's astonishment. Sasuke didn't know who the man in front of him was, he only knew that he was an enemy. And the other party wanted to attack him. So he didn't hesitate to counterattack. The two-tailed Matetabi in his body appropriately lent Sasuke a bit of the tailed beast's chakra. This made Sasuke's body exude a layer of tailed beast chakra visible to the naked eye. When Sasuke used a special super fire style, Great Fireball, a huge fireball with a diameter of 10 meters gushed out of his mouth. What was surprising was that the color of this fireball was actually dark blue, and the temperature seemed to be even higher than the usual fire style. This kind of flame. The 4th Raikage had a shock in his pupils. If he remembered correctly, this seemed to be the flame of their Hidden Clouds Village's two tails. After all, among fire-style ninjas, probably only a two-tailed Jinchuriki can use this dark blue flame. A made a leap and easily dodged Sasuke's fire style. He instantly sprinted towards the front. The extraordinary speed made Sasuke's double Tomoe Sharingan unable to react, and Day's big hand had already grabbed Sasuke's body. Yes. He could grab Sasuke's body with one hand. The difference in body size between the two was obvious. Good strength. Sasuke hurriedly tried to struggle, but found that even under the blessing of the tailed beast's chakra, he couldn't even move one of A's fingers. Sasuke could also see that there were 3 exaggerated steel arm guards on the other party's arm. It seemed to be a ninja who was very proficient in taijutsu. Sasuke, he is not an ordinary Hidden Clouds Village ninja, he is the 4th Raikage of Hidden Clouds Village. The voice of the two-tailed Matetabi echoed in Sasuke's mind. Matetabi's reminder made Sasuke's pupil shrink. He tried hard to grab the 4th Raikage's big hand with both hands, constantly trying to pry open this big hand, and raised his head in a bewildering manner to look at the other party. This middle-aged man with dark skin, very rough appearance, and a beard, is actually the 4th Raikage of Hidden Clouds Village? Uchiha clan's brat. Ai's tone was both irritable and anxious. What's the matter with his flame? What's the matter with the tailed beast chakra on your body? What happened to our village's two-tailed Jinchuriki by you pirates? Continuous questioning came out of his mouth. I had already lifted Sasuke up with one hand, and heavily pressed Sasuke against the wall. Cough cough. Sasuke's back collided violently with the wall, causing Sasuke to cough continuously, almost out of breath. Looking up at Ai's angry eyes, Sasuke gave up prying open the other's hand and wiped the blood overflowing from the corner of his mouth. Sasuke hooked the corner of his mouth. You want to save your village's Jinchuriki, right? The tailed beast in her body has been transferred to me. What do you think happened to her? Even knowing that he couldn't beat the other party, Sasuke still wanted to regain a bit of face for the Uchiha clan from his words. And his short words made Ai's eyes widen. The two tails inside Yujito were transferred to this little kid in front of him? Doesn't that mean Yujito is very likely dead? Is his younger brother, Killer Bee, like Yujito, with the tailed beast inside him transferred to a pirate? Is he now a cold corpse? Ai's forehead veins were bulging, his killing intent was boiling, and every breath he took seemed to be about to spew out flames. Damn pirates! You've completely angered me. I swear by the name of the fourth Raikage, I will wipe out your white-beard pirates. Just as he was about to exert force with his fingers, a loud shout suddenly came from behind him. Damn big black-skinned guy. Let go of Sasuke. What followed was a surge of chakra fluctuations, that very evil chakra fluctuation. Even without looking back, you would know it's the chakra of a tailed beast. This made Ai's eyelids twitch slightly. When he hurriedly turned his head to look, he saw a blonde kid already rushing towards him. Rasengan. Naruto held a Rasengan in his hand and in the blink of an eye, he rushed to Ai's back. Naruto leaped up and pressed the Rasengan in his hand towards Ai's head. Instantly, a layer of blue lightning-style chakra surged all over Ai's body, and his skin faintly flickered with some electric arcs. Facing Naruto's Rasengan, Ai reached out with one hand towards Naruto's Rasengan. His big hand firmly caught the Rasengan in his palm. Boom. The Rasengan exploded with an astonishing rotational impact, blowing ripples onto Sasuke's face. But the fourth Raikage, who caught the Rasengan with one hand, didn't move at all. He forcefully crushed the Rasengan with one hand. Another Jinchuriki brat. Ai's angry eyes carried a bit of surprise. His first reaction was whether the tailed beast of Killer Bee had been transferred to this blonde kid. The next second he found that the chakra on Naruto's body and the chakra of the tailed beast on Killer Bee were a bit different. The tailed beast chakra of this blonde kid is even more evil and cold. The tailed beast in his body should not be the 8 tails. Naruto, be careful. At this time, Sasuke, who was caught with one hand, hurriedly shouted. This guy is the Raikage of Hidden Cloud's village. Naruto immediately retreated back. He looked at the big guy in front of him with uncertainty. This is the first time someone has taken my Rasengan head-on, so it's the Raikage of Hidden Cloud's village, no wonder. Ice style, freezing capsule. A small ice ball suddenly flew over, attracting Ai's attention. Ai didn't dodge or avoid, letting the small ice ball fall on him. Ai frowned. Ice? I don't feel anything. But the next second, the ice ball emitted a very astonishing cold, turning into a huge ice block that included Ai in it. Good opportunity. Ino had been following Haku all along. Although she didn't know why they started fighting, since the other party dared to fight with the family of the Whitebeard pirates, the other party was definitely an enemy. Ino put her hands together, her fingers forming a square, aiming at the frozen Ai. Ninjutsu, mind transfer jutsu. When Ino's consciousness wanted to drill into Ai's body, she found that her consciousness was like hitting a very solid wall. Ino was immediately dizzy on the spot. Her ninjutsu not only failed to control the fourth Raikage, but her own consciousness was also somewhat dazed by the backlash. Ai didn't even make a move, and Ino rolled her eyes on the spot. She fainted on the spot. Fire style, super fire style, rage of sages, flame of phoenixes. Sasuke, who was close to the fourth Raikage, also took this excellent opportunity to use this ninjutsu with the power of the tailed beast. All of this happened in just a blink of an eye. Boom. 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 The 5 clusters of flames that Sasuke spewed out all fell on Ai's body, shattering the thick ice that had frozen Ai. This ninjutsu seemed to want to blast Ai into pieces. However, when the fire gradually dissipated, Sasuke was stunned. TSK. Ai, who was unscathed, glanced around at the few brats, the infamous Whitebeard pirates. Is it actually a kindergarten? He grabbed Sasuke and threw him towards Naruto. Naruto quickly reached out to catch him, but clearly underestimated Ai's strength. Naruto was knocked flying out by the thrown Sasuke. The two hugged each other, rolled on the deck for more than a dozen rounds, until they hit the edge railing of Moby Dick hard. The railing was cracked. Damn. Haku felt bad. When he wanted to make a move, a flash of lightning suddenly flashed in front of him. In Haku's line of sight, the fourth Raikage, who was originally more than 10 meters away from him, appeared in front of him in an instant. The other party's speed was so fast that Haku couldn't react at all. Haku quickly clapped his hands. Ice. Before a ninjutsu could be used, A's slap came over with a swift and fierce force. Haku's eyes widened. But this slap, when it was still 1 centimeter away from Haku's face, suddenly stopped. I changed his action, flicked his finger, and hummed coldly, Humphrey. A bunch of pirate brats who are less than 10 years old, it's annoying. Bang. Haku was directly flicked by A and fell straight into someone's arms. Kakashi looked down at the fainted Haku in his arms, then looked at the fourth Raikage with a serious face. I didn't expect the famous fourth Raikage of Hidden Cloud's village to personally visit the Moby Dick of the Whitebeard pirates. Kakashi recognized A. His face was unprecedentedly serious and vigilant. As a Raikage, bullying a few children like this, it's a bit inappropriate, isn't it? Who are you? A looked at Kakashi, the copy ninja Kakashi of Hidden Leaf Village. Kakashi slowly took off the forehead protector covering the Sharingan, revealing a scarlet 3-Tomoe Sharingan. Although he no longer wears the forehead protector of Hidden Leaf Village, he has replaced it with a forehead protector engraved with the logo of the Whitebeard pirates. I didn't expect that the fourth Raikage of Hidden Cloud's village could remember such a small person like me. Kakashi sighed. This is also a kind of honor for me, isn't it? Knock, knock, knock. The sound of the cane sword gently tapping on the deck echoed faintly, and Shizue walked towards this side step by step. Raikage-sama, Sasuke is one of the futures of our Uchiha clan. It's not quite right for you to hit him so hard. Shizue's tone seemed a bit cold. You. Shizue of the body flicker from Hidden Leaf Village? Oh was stunned. How could the Whitebeard pirates have 2 ninjas from Hidden Leaf Village? Izumi Uchiha gently held the fainted Ino, and only after checking that Ino was okay did she breathe a sigh of relief. She looked at I with some hostility. Another Uchiha clan brat. A frowned. Those eyes, are they actually a pair of 3-Tomoe? Ha. A big shot has come. If I remember correctly, the current fourth Raikage of Hidden Cloud's village is named A, right? Kisame, carrying Samada, his eyes full of bloodshot, filled with dangerous and bloodthirsty colors, a ninja who hurts my Kisame's family, won't have a good end. Fourth Raikage-sama. A's brow furrowed deeper as another unexpected figure appeared, Hidden Mist Village Ninja Sword 7, Tailless Tailed Beast Hoshigaki Kisame? The commotion above is quite big. Tsunade, with dark circles under her eyes, yawned. These days, she and Orochimaru had been staying up late studying the body of White Zetsu's clone. During this time, Orochimaru also proposed a bold idea. If he could thoroughly research this special humanoid creature, perhaps he could clone this special creature in large quantities. Looking at the fourth Raikage whose body was surging with lightning-style chakra, Tsunade couldn't help but yawn again. So, an unexpected guest has arrived. Tsunade's appearance made A realize that something was not quite right. Hidden Leaf Village Princess Tsunade? Hee, fourth Raikage-sama, we meet again. Orochimaru came out from behind Tsunade, sticking out his tongue to lick his dry lips. Orochimaru gave a sinister smile and sighed. The last time we met, it seemed to be on the battlefield of the Third Great Ninja War, wasn't it? Orochimaru? This time, it was A's turn to show a serious look, and a 12-point vigilance rose in his heart. What an amazing body. A strange puppet quietly crawled out from somewhere. Sasori had had enough of this garbage puppet. This puppet was an insult to him. He needs to figure out a way to create a puppet on the pirate ship. His eyes were covetously gazing at the fourth Raikage. If I kill him and turn his body into a puppet, it would certainly be an unparalleled work of art. Although Sasori was hiding in a corner, I still saw him. A's eyelids couldn't help but twitch. What is this thing? Such a grotesque puppet that could even talk. It was indeed a bit shocking. Sasuke, who was lying on the ground, was holding his forehead, his little face a bit twisted. Ouch. That guy, how is he so powerful? He felt as if something was pressing on his body. When Sasuke opened his eyes, he found Naruto sitting on him. Naruto was sitting on his crotch, making it impossible for him to exert any strength. Idiot Naruto, get off me quickly. Naruto awkwardly stood up. He didn't expect that he had underestimated the power of the fourth Raikage. Naruto casually pulled Sasuke up as well. The two stood together, vigilantly watching the fourth Raikage in front of them. Indeed, he is a Kage. Ah. Naruto muttered. Such tremendous strength. Humphrey, I was just careless just now. Sasuke snorted lightly. Neji, Karen, Hinata, and Faashi also rushed over. What was surprising was that Kimimaro actually followed as well. Kimimaro glanced at Orochimaru's back, then at Naruto, Sasuke, and the others. He didn't say much. On the other side, Iruka noticed that something seemed to be wrong, and quickly called a group of Uchiha children and sailors to hide in the cabin. Thus, a standoff formed on the deck of Moby Dick. The fourth Raikage, alone, faced a group of pirates from the Whitebeard pirates, except for the unconscious Ino, Haku, and the absent Whitebeard. The last person who was so brave was the former Two-Tails Jinchuriki, Yujiro. Chapter 239, Pirates from the Ninja World, want to rob the Whitebeard pirates? The war beast on the sea. Meanwhile, on the vast sea, a ragged pirate ship was sailing towards the port of Land of Fire. Unlike the pirate ships of the Grand Line, the real pirates in the ninja world stand out for their shabbiness and poverty. But they are all desperados, usually only those who have committed major crimes and are wanted, will choose to go to sea to become pirates. Captain. We see it. We see it. At this time, a pirate lookout on the ship, holding a monocular telescope in his hand, shouted loudly. It's such a big ship. The lookout's tone was full of shock and emotion. The size of this ship, it can accommodate at least 1,000 people, right? Soon, a tall man with dark skin and thick lips came to the side of the lookout. He snatched the telescope from the lookout's hand and also looked forward. In the view of the telescope, a ridiculously large ship was docked at the port ahead. For these pirates, the temptation of a good ship is just like beauty and money. They simply cannot resist such temptation. The captain of the pirate ship grinned with a greedy smile. It seems the information we got was not wrong. There is indeed a costly big ship docked at the port of Land of Fire. Guys. The pirate captain shouted to the back. As long as you see living people later, kill them all, seize this ship. And then plunder the town. His shout aroused the excited cheers of a group of pirates. Plunder. 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 Ha ha ha. Such a big ship, if we sell it, isn't it worth 2 or 3 billion? After this job, we can completely split the money and disband. 2 or 3 billion? Can't you have some imagination? This is worth at least 5 or 6 billion. Take it to other places, sell it to a daimyo casually, and easily earn a few billion. Such a big ship, there won't be ninjas from Hidden Leaf Village guarding it, right? Maybe. There's more than one Hidden Leaf Village ninja. What are you afraid of? Our boss is from Hidden Clouds Village. The boss used to be a jonin from Hidden Clouds Village. Yeah. We haven't killed ninjas before. The captain has the lives of more than a dozen ninjas in his hands. I wonder how much money each of us can divide after this trip? 500,000 ryo. 2 million ryo. This group of pirates born and raised in the ninja world, the reason why they dare to plunder the town of Hidden Leaf Village, dare to rob other people's ships. In the final analysis, it is because their captain is also a ninja, and is a renegade jonin level from Hidden Clouds Village. Humphrey. Listening to the excited shouts of the little ruffians behind him, the renegade from Hidden Clouds Village sneered coldly and whispered. You bunch of cats and dogs, also want to share the money from selling the ship. His voice was so low that only he could hear it. He recruited a group of desperados to go to sea to become pirate robbers, just to use these desperados as money-making tools. If he had billions of ryo in his hand, he wouldn't care about these guys at all, nor would he share this money with them. By then, he would not hesitate to kill all his subordinates. With billions of ryo in his hand, he could easily find a place to change his name and face, and he would be a wealthy man in the honorable ninja world. Isn't this much better than sharing money with a bunch of trash? It's Whitebeard. Maitre Mummy's exclamation was clearly due to the shock she couldn't suppress in her heart. In her line of sight, a tall and burly man holding a huge naginata appeared in the field of vision in the distance. In the entire ninja world, only Whitebeard has such a tall and burly figure. His height is even taller than some low-rise buildings on the roadside. Quick! Maitre Mummy immediately instructed a group of Hidden Mist Village ninjas, at the fastest speed, use water-style ninjutsu to clean up the Moby Dick from top to bottom. Remember that during the cleaning process, you cannot damage any place. Whitebeard and his crew will arrive in at most 15 minutes. We have to hand over a brand new Moby Dick to the Whitebeard pirates before they arrive. A group of Hidden Mist Village ninjas began to bustle around in a hurry, some cleaning the outside of the ship, some cleaning the deck, and some cleaning the cabins in the ship. They must make sure that the entire Moby Dick is not stained with a speck of dust. Although they also knew that this was impossible, but at least the attitude had to be put out. It has to be said that the efficiency of this group of Hidden Mist Village ninjas is very high. Before Whitebeard and his crew approached the Moby Dick, they had cleaned up the Moby Dick from top to bottom. Even the huge sails were wiped by them. Maitre Mummy squatted down and touched the deck of the Moby Dick with her finger. After looking at her clean and fair fingertips, she suddenly breathed a sigh of relief. Then, a group of hidden mist village ninjas quickly jumped off the ship to greet the Whitebeard pirates. They only waited for a few minutes, and a large group of people from the Whitebeard pirates had already arrived. Walking in the front is naturally Whitebeard. To the left of Whitebeard are Naruto, Shisui, Izumi, and to the right are Kisame, Kakashi, Fuashi. Behind Whitebeard are Tsunade, Shizune, Haku, Sasuke, Neji, Hinata, Ino. The last ones are dozens of survivors of the Uchiha clan, and Iruka, who has a face of despair, and Kimimaro, who is still trapped in the prison car with a blank expression. Gorrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrr gently propped on the ground, he looked up at the huge Moby Dick replica in front of him. His smile on his face seemed very satisfied. This is no different from the Moby Dick in Whitebeard's memory. If you have to say the difference, it is that this ship is very new. And the real Moby Dick has been sailing on the sea for decades, full of traces of years of wind and frost. To put it in human terms, the real Moby Dick is almost swollen. The shipbuilding technology of the ninja world is really good. Gorara. Whitebeard's laughter seemed to echo throughout the town. It can be seen that he is indeed very satisfied. Looking at the Moby Dick in front of him, Whitebeard's eyes flashed with a few sighs, and also showed a few nostalgic looks. The last time he stood on the Moby Dick was during the Summit War. On the day of the war at the top, Whitebeard watched the Moby Dick being burned by the magma falling from the sky. Watching his old friend exit the historical stage with him, but powerless to change all this. This kind of mood, this kind of emotion, it is impossible to say that it is not complicated. In a daze, Whitebeard seemed to see his group of stupid sons on the Grand Line, but the next second those stupid sons' figures burst like bubbles. He really want to find a way back to the Grand Line. Go and see those foolish sons. I don't know if those foolish sons have survived. Wow! What a big ship. Naruto had seen the design of the Moby Dick. But compared to the design that he can't understand, the physical Moby Dick is what makes him feel shocked. The huge ship docked on the sea surface at the port, just like a mountain standing here. Standing in front of the Moby Dick, you can feel a strong sense of oppression. If someone has a fear of large objects, they would probably go weak at the knees the first second they stand here. Naruto's eyes were almost glowing, his little face was also full of excitement. Adding up, it must be at least 10 times the size of the Hokage building, right? Naruto needs to exaggerate his head to see the lookout at the top of the Moby Dick, which makes him speechless. I feel like I can summon Slug Sage on top. Tsunoda also looked up and muttered. Are pirates so rich these days? Tsunoda can't imagine how much it would cost to build such a ship. If this money was used for her gambling, she felt that she wouldn't need to borrow for at least a whole year. Even, she could pay off some of the gambling debts she owed before. Good guy, it was really built by Gato Shipyard. Kakashi was dumbfounded. He and Naruto had also seen the design. In Kakashi's cognition, how could such an exaggerated big ship can be built? But he didn't expect that the shipbuilding technology of Land of Water really had a way to do it. Under the stimulation of so much money, the shipyard forcibly replicated the Moby Dick one by one. Those things on top, are they called cannons? Kisame was looking at the captain's cannon. I heard it was a technology mastered by a country called Land of the Sky. One shot down, has the power comparable to explosive tags. But, that country seems to have been destroyed in the hands of Hidden Leaf Village. Many technologies related to it, either have been lost, or have been stolen and controlled by other ninja villages. Kisame rubbed his chin. He didn't expect that Gato, the big businessman, also mastered the technology inherited from the Land of the Sky. But those things are now all of the Whitebeard pirates. I feel that even if the number of survivors of the Uchiha clan is multiplied by 10, they can probably all live in. Izumi Uchiha couldn't help but marvel. Can it really only accommodate 1,600 people? How does it feel like it can accommodate at least 2,000 people? The number of people the Moby Dick can accommodate is determined by the exaggerated body shape of the people on the pirate world side. But if it is changed to the normal human body shape in the ninja world, indeed, a few hundred more people can be stuffed in. And most of the survivors of the Uchiha clan are children. One bed can sleep 2 children. If squeezed a bit, even accommodating more than 2,000 crew members is not a problem. Uzumaki Fuashi was thinking about a problem. Such a big pirate ship, do you need hundreds of sailors to get it moving? Obviously, the current Whitebeard pirates don't have that many people. If you want to use the Moby Dick to sail on the sea, you probably still need to borrow the sailors from Land of Water. But the next second, Uzumaki Fuashi came up with a strange idea. Pops wants to catch the tailed beasts. Will it also include this consideration? After all, the tailed beasts are so large, it's normal for some tailed beasts to swim, right? Let the tailed beasts drag the ship, then no sailors are needed, and a pirate ship can sail? Thinking of this, Uzumaki Fuashi couldn't help but cast his gaze on Naruto, or rather, on Naruto's belly. Doesn't Naruto have a ready-made tailed beast inside him? Can a nine-tailed fox swim? It should be able to, right? Whitebeard-sama. Materumami said respectfully. The Moby Dick you requested has been built, and the entire ship has been cleaned. If there is anything that Lord Whitebeard is not satisfied with, we at Hidden Mist Village can take this ship back to the shipyard and remodel it. When facing Whitebeard, Materumami was as humble as she could be. After all, the man in front of her was the big daddy of Hidden Mist Village. Gorrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrr once, and in the next instant, the ground under his feet shattered, and he shot up into the sky. Whitebeard landed steadily on the deck of the Moby Dick. Standing on the deck, he breathed in the familiar smell of the sea breeze. Whitebeard felt like he was back on the Grand Line. He felt like he was back in the New World. He used his Murakamagi-ri to tap the deck under his feet. The smile at the corner of his mouth never faded. You could even use it as the main ship in the New World. Soon, Naruto, Kisame, and others also jumped onto the ship one after another. In order to let the survivors of the Uchiha clan also come up. Haiku made a seal with both hands, slapped his palms on the ground, and gently shouted. Ice style, stairway to heaven. The ladder made of ice spread from the dock to the Moby Dick. It might be a bit slippery, but as long as you walk carefully, there should be no problem. The total length is about 400 meters to 500 meters, the width is about 60 meters to 70 meters, the height of the deck from the sea surface is about 30 meters to 40 meters, and the area of the deck should not be less than 25,000 square meters. Kakashi was measuring the size of the Moby Dick hull. This is indeed a very exaggerated behemoth. No wonder it can accommodate more than 1,000 pirate crew members, and even if it accommodates more than 1,000 crew members, it is still quite spacious on this ship. Because this ship has a full 4 decks. If each layer of the Moby Dick has an area of not less than 20,000 square meters, 4 layers are indeed outrageous. Kakashi couldn't help but sigh. It's simply a war beast. He also saw the cannons all over his body, the cannons on the left and right sides of his body, a total of 38 doors. It doesn't sound like a lot, but each cannon is quite shocking in size. The caliber of the cannon, stuffing a rather fat living person into it, is probably not a problem. The shells fired by this kind of cannon are more powerful than explosive tags, right? A shell blasted past, and it is estimated to be comparable to a B-level fire-style ninjutsu. You guys look. Suddenly, Ino on the ship found some abnormalities in the distance. She shouted. There seems to be a very strange ship over there. Everyone looked in the direction she was pointing, and sure enough, they saw a ship on the sea in the distance, sneaking towards this side. Byakugan, open. Byakugan, open. Neji and Hinata almost opened the Byakugan at the same time. The Byakugan not only has the ability to see through, but also has the ability to see far away. They soon saw the broken pirate ship in the distance. Pops, it seems. Neji didn't really have a big concept of pirates, but he felt that the ship was not right. The people on that ship don't look like good people, Hinata on the side weakly added. Pops, I see them all pulling out their swords. Oh? Whitebeard's observation hockey instantly covered the sea area behind him. The next second, the smile on Whitebeard's face became strange. Pops, what's wrong? Did you find something? Naruto looked up curiously and asked his pops. A strange smile appeared on Whitebeard's face, becoming somewhat interested. Gorrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrr ninja world? Kisame was stunned for a moment, then he understood what Whitebeard meant. Kisame's eyes widened a bit, looking at the small black dot in the distance. Are Whitebeard pirates? Have been targeted by pirates? Oh my goodness. Is this possible? This is really dramatic. Whitebeard laughed. When I was young and just started out as a pirate, I also encountered a group of reckless pirates who wanted to rob me. I didn't expect that in the ninja world, just after the Moby Dick was built, there would be the same group of pirates who wanted to rob me, Whitebeard. Gorrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrr Being targeted by a group of colleagues did not make anyone in the Whitebeard Pirates panic. After all, among this group of people, excluding those who are not official crew members like Tsunade, Shizune, and Iruka, and excluding Whitebeard, who is an extraordinary force. On the ship, there are only special Jonin and above forces, such as Kisame, Naruto, Kakashi, Shizui, Izumi. Would such a force be afraid of pirates in the ninja world? They would only think that this matter is quite dramatic, just like Whitebeard. Pops, let me do it. Kisame grinned. The sea is the home field for ninjas like me who are good at water-style ninjutsu. They are targeted are Whitebeard pirates, It seems because our pirate flag didn't have a time to hang on the ship. As Kisame said this, he jumped directly onto the sea. His was stepping on the sea. Looking at the ragged pirate ship that was gradually approaching in the distance, Kisame, with a grim smile, calmly made hand seals. The speed of his hand seals has slowed down to 1 seal every 2 seconds. Water style, great exploding water wave. At the same time, the pirates on the ragged pirate ship, as they got closer and closer to the Moby Dick, the excited and greedy expressions on their faces became more and more intense. This ship is even bigger than what we saw in the telescope. Isn't it worth more than 5 or 6 billion? It must be worth 7 or 8 billion, right? Even, it's not impossible to be worth 10 billion. One of the pirates shouted excitedly. Just at this moment, the captain of the pirate ship, who was a rebel from Hidden Cloud's village, frowned. Because for some reason, he suddenly had a bad feeling. What's going on? Just as his gaze was looking at the Moby Dick. Suddenly, his eyes suddenly widened. His pupil shrank slightly. What is that? They only saw a huge wave was lifted from the port dock. The wave of tens of meters high was like an insurmountable wall. What's terrible is that he found that the terrifyingly horrifying giant wave. It was rushing towards him. Chapter 240, Set Sail. Start sailing. Whitebeard's new target, Hidden Cloud's village. The renegade from Hidden Cloud's village on this ragged pirate ship is called Imoy. Since he killed a companion in a village 4 years ago and fled from Hidden Cloud's village, he ran to the nearby sea area of Land of Fire, changed his name and became a pirate at sea. If a jonin from a village flees from the village, usually, this ninja is either a guard for a daimyo or nobleman of a certain country, or a bounty hunter. But Imoy is different. He felt that the above 2 ways out were too easy to expose, so he would rather run to the sea to be a pirate. Anyway, as long as the pirate ship is sailing on the sea, the ninjas of Hidden Cloud's village will never find him. The sea of the ninja world is so vast, trying to find him is like finding a needle in a haystack. And indeed, Imoy has been spent 4 years at sea. During these 4 years, he recruited a group of desperados and constantly attacked the towns along the coast of Land of Fire. Every time he would rob a wave and then run away. By the time the ninjas of Hidden Leaf Village came over, he had already fled. And some of the weaker Hidden Leaf Village ninjas are not his opponents at all. He kills one when he sees one. Some time ago, he bought a valuable piece of information from an information dealer, a port dock in a town in Land of Fire, where a valuable ship is docked. The price of the ship will not be less than 500 million Rio. It was this piece of information that brought him here with a group of desperados. Imoy originally wanted to quit after doing this job. He thought that with his own strength, robbing a ship was definitely not a problem. But he found that he had misjudged. The exaggerated torrential waves in front of him and the astonishing visual impact all clearly told Imoy. He has kicked the iron plate. The port dock of Land of Fire will not cause a terrifying wave for no reason. The only possibility is that a water-style ninja used ninjutsu. But what level of ninja can make such a movement? Even he was stunned by the scene in front of him, let alone the pirates on the ship. One by one, the raggedly dressed pirates widened their eyes. The sight of the dozens of meters-high waves rushing towards this side made their sunburnt and rough faces gradually show fear. Waves. Big waves. How can there be such big waves at the dock? There's no big wind now, is there? There hasn't been any undersea earthquake, has there? Quick. Helmsman, turn the rudder quickly. Get out of the way quickly. It's too late. It's too fast. The speed of the waves is too fast. Can't dodge. Can't possibly dodge. Captain, you have to think of a way. We're done for. It's only less than 100 meters. It's getting closer and closer to us. Captain, save us. Is it the punishment from the gods for us killing too many people and doing evil? The panicked crew on the ragged pirate ship had long lost their initial greed and excitement. The wave caused by the Kisame has already blocked the distant sun, shrouding the entire pirate ship in a huge shadow. The exaggerated waves in front have already affected the seawater under the ship. The sea surface suddenly became turbulent, and the ragged pirate ship kept rising and falling. A few unlucky pirates were thrown off the rocking pirate ship. They became ghosts in the sea on the spot. Fear and despair have quickly spread. Captain, save us. Everyone cast their pleading eyes on Imoy, hoping that this powerful captain could save their lives. Lightning-style chakra mode. Imoy's body was filled with chakra surging wildly, the blue and white electric arc making a crackling sound, enveloping his entire body. But this is not the real lightning-style chakra mode. It's a ninjutsu he created himself, similar to the secret technique of Hidden Cloud's village. He has no psychological burden to label his self-created ninjutsu as lightning-style chakra mode. After all, he is already a rebel ninja of Hidden Cloud's village. Even if he raises a dog now and names it Fourth Raikage, he dares to do so. Under the stimulation of lightning-style chakra, Imoy's physical activity was greatly stimulated, every inch of his body was trembling with excitement. The speed of nerve conduction has also been improved. Huff. Huff. But the crude self-creation always comes with serious flaws. Maintaining this state for just 1 or 2 seconds has already left Imoy gasping for breath. He completely ignored the pleas for help from the pirates behind him. In this situation, being able to protect oneself is already quite good. To save them. What a joke. Imoy, whose body was surging with lightning, was quickly forming hand seals. Lightning style, spear of thunder. The deck under Imoy's feet shattered instantly, and the updraft overturned a few pirates next to him. Accompanied by astonishing thunder, a large amount of electric arcs surged around him. Imoy's body, like a spear accompanied by thunder, fiercely plunged into the overwhelming waves. Bang! He punched a big hole in the wave. And the next second, the giant wave was already pressing down on the pirate group. With the earth-shattering noise, the entire pirate ship was smashed by the waves in an instant. All the pirates on the ship were overturned into the sea in the blink of an eye. The impact of the water flow directly knocked everyone out. A native pirate group from the ninja world that has been harassing the coast of Land of Fire for several years. Just like that, they were buried at the bottom of the sea. The exaggerated wave hit, making the entire dock turbulent. Some smaller ships docked at the dock, like duckweed on the sea, are at risk of being overturned at any time. Meanwhile, Imoy, whose body was surging with lightning, had already fallen embarrassingly on the turbulent sea. With the help of chakra-stepping water technique, he stood on the sea. Imoy looked back at the sea behind him with lingering fear. He found that the pirate ship behind him had long disappeared. Then he turned his gaze to the Moby Dick. He saw a person standing on the sea surface below that big ship. Damn it. If he didn't guess wrong, it should be the guy who used water-style ninjutsu. Kisame on the other side also saw Imoy. It's hard not to see this guy, because the lightning chakra wrapped around Imoy is very conspicuous on the sea. At first glance, it looks like a blue light bulb. A lightning-style ninja, huh? Kisame slowly grabbed the hilt of the great sword Seimata, and took Seimata down from his back. There was a bit of excitement on Kisame's face. No wonder he has the guts to rob the Whitebeard pirates. This guy must be at least Jonin level, right? Kisame's eyes narrowed slightly. Presumably, he is ready to die. He doesn't care who the enemy is, as long as the other party dares to do something to the Whitebeard pirates. Kisame will kill the other party mercilessly. Kisame ignored the surging waves in front of him. He dived into the sea, and his speed in the water was very fast. Imoy, whose strength, defense, speed, and reaction have all been temporarily greatly improved, immediately noticed that something was wrong with the seawater under his feet. When he hurriedly looked down, a huge shark made of water flow swallowed him whole. The shark jumped out of the sea, and there was a clear surge of lightning in the fish's belly. Zzz. The electric arc soon wrapped the entire shark. With a huff sound, the shark made of water flow collapsed. Damn it. Imoy gritted his teeth. A strong sense of crisis made him leap into the air, and he crazily extracted chakra from his body. Lightning style, dragon bomb technique. And then a huge thunder dragon slammed into the sea below, and immediately exploded a splash of water more than 10 meters high. A series of dazzling twisted electric arcs are constantly running wild in the sea. Under the high temperature of the electric current, the seawater was boiling. Huff, huff. Imoy was panting heavily, and there was very little chakra left in his body. That bastard should be dead, right? Even if he wasn't hit directly by the dragon bomb technique, he was touched by the electric arc, right? Or was he scalded to death by the boiling seawater? But just at this moment, a voice came from behind him. TSK. I thought you were something, but a guy like you can't satisfy me at all. Kisame's voice was filled with a strong bloodlust. What? Imoy's pupils contracted sharply, and he quickly turned around and kicked back. Bang. The kick that kicked back fell on Kisame's arm. It was blocked by Kisame with one hand. TSK, the electricity made my hand a bit numb. Under Imoy's incredulous and horrified gaze, Kisame sneered. This skin color? You should be a ninja from Hidden Cloud's village, right? Is this the level of Hidden Cloud's village's lightning-style ninjutsu? Kisame held the big sword Seimata in one hand and decisively smashed it towards Imoy. Imoy was greatly shocked. He hurriedly wanted to dodge, but was still scraped by the barbs of Seimata. This scrape made Imoy's expression change again. Because he could clearly feel that the little chakra left in his body was forcibly sucked away. The lightning-style chakra wrapped around his body gradually disappeared. Imoy's face showed a fatigue expression. The last bit of chakra left could only allow him to tread water reluctantly, so as not to sink into the sea. Who are you? It was at this time that he finally saw clearly who was attacking him. I'm Hoshigaki Kisame of the Whitebeard Pirates. Kisame answered, then swung Saimata forward. Wait. I surrender. Imoi's plea was of no use. The moment he showed hostility towards the Whitebeard pirates, he had already been sentenced to death. Saimata opened its big mouth and bit Imoi's head in one bite. With a crunch, the head was directly exploded by Saimata. A headless corpse, slowly sinking into the sea. On the Moby Dick, Whitebeard's mouth curled up in a smile, and he said with emotion, "If it were on the sea of the New World, those rocky pirates who challenged me, even if they were dying, they might try to escape. But they would never beg for mercy like that little ninja." Compared to the two, the pirates of the ninja world disappointed Whitebeard. They didn't have the passion of the New World pirates. Kisame, who was soaking wet, quickly returned to the Moby Dick. His tone was a bit disdainful. A ninja who has lost his faith can't even exert his full strength. Kisame thought the other party would be a tough character, but he didn't expect to solve him in a few attacks. It felt like punching in the air. For the Whitebeard pirates, this was just an insignificant little scene. They didn't even bother to know what the other party's name was. The Whitebeard pirates had one more important thing to do. Gorrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrr foolish daughters. You've already boarded the Moby Dick, why don't you have a grand banquet yet? Remember, the pirate ship is also our companion. On the sea, you can distrust your partners, you can distrust the weather on the sea. But you must trust this ship under your feet. Gorrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrr Only in this way, there is a certain chance to give birth to the special existence of ship spirit. The next day, after cleaning up the mess from the end of the banquet, the Moby Dick officially set sail. It's okay if the fools in the pirate crew can't sail, because the hundreds of sailors brought by Hidden Mist Village have always been staying in the town. With just one command, they will came running. As long as they watch the sailors control the Moby Dick more, Naruto and the others will eventually learn. At the same time, a huge pirate flag was also hung on the mast of the Moby Dick. When the large pirate ship was sailing on the sea, all the merchant ships on the route were scared and hurriedly retreated to both sides. They were afraid that a slight bump from this exaggeratedly large ship would smash their merchant ship to pieces. As far as I know, when the god of the ninja world, Sunju Hashirama, was distributing the 9-tailed beasts, apart from the 9 tails that was allocated to Hidden Leaf Village, the other 8-tailed beasts were allocated to different ninja villages. Kakashi was explaining some information he knew on the pirate ship. Among them, the 1 tail was allocated to Hidden Sand Village, the 2 tails is in Hidden Clouds Village, the 3 tails in Hidden Mist Village, the 4 tails, I heard it's in Hidden Stones Village, the 5 tails is also in Hidden Stones Village, the 6 tails seems to be in Hidden Mist Village, the 7 tails in Hidden Waterfall Village, the 8 tails is also in Hidden Clouds Village. Speaking of this, Kakashi continued, but over the years, some tailed beasts have been displaced due to the rebellion of the Jinchuriki, and I don't know where they specifically went. Just like the 6 tails of Hidden Mist Village. Kakashi, with his dead fish eyes, I heard that the 6 tails Jinchuriki of Hidden Mist Village suddenly disappeared a few years ago, and its whereabouts are still unknown. Kisame nodded in approval of Kakashi's information. Now Hidden Mist Village doesn't have a single tailed beast left. According to our location, the 2 closest tailed beasts to our Whitebeard pirates should be in Hidden Clouds Village in Land of Thunder. Hidden Clouds Village, huh? Kakashi had a headache. This is one of the 5 great ninja villages, especially in terms of military strength. It's not much worse than Hidden Leaf Village. Kakashi could even say that Hidden Leaf Village might not necessarily be Hidden Clouds Village's opponent now. After all, the talents of Hidden Leaf Village were driven out one by one. How many talents are left in the village now? Of those remaining talents, how many can carry the weight? So, are the 2-tailed beasts in Hidden Clouds Village the hardest bones to chew? Shizue asked on the side. Well, not necessarily. Kisame grinned. No matter how hard the bone is, can our Whitebeard pirates chew it? Hidden Clouds Village is indeed not weak, but their Whitebeard pirates are not bad either. The only trouble is that if the tailed beast is forcibly extracted from the Jinchuriki's body, it may endanger the life of the Jinchuriki. Kakashi hesitated. If we harm innocent lives in order to get the tailed beast, isn't that a bit bad? Kakashi felt that there was a difference between pirates and pirates. He didn't think he was the kind of extremely evil pirate. But Kakashi-san, Karen and I are here. Uzumaki Fuashi smiled gently. The reason why a Jinchuriki dies when the tailed beast is extracted from their body is because the human body can't withstand the sudden removal of such a powerful force. In this situation, the life force of the human body will quickly fade away, and if they can hold on for a minute, it means they have a strong life force. But this point can be solved by the bloodline of the Uzumaki clan. Uzumaki Fuashi said. Karen and I draw blood every 7 days and store the blood in a sealing scroll. This blood should be able to save the Jinchuriki from whom the tailed beast has been extracted. Then, Uzumaki Fuashi added. Even if the Jinchuriki who survives will have any injury, we can ask Tsunade to cure the injury. Well, the only moral problem has been solved. Kakashi found that the Whitebeard pirates had arranged a caring service for those unlucky Jinchuriki. Soon, Kakashi told Whitebeard, the captain of the pirate ship, the results of their discussion. And he informed Whitebeard of some information about Hidden Cloud's village. As they expected, Pops didn't show a hint of worry or heaviness when he heard about Hidden Cloud's village. Whitebeard had a smile on his face. Gorrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrr villages, knowing that there are tailed beasts there. Let's set off in that direction. We are the Whitebeard pirates. The Moby Dick quickly changed direction. The bow pointed directly at Land of Thunder. Meanwhile, the Akatsuki. Orochimaru, I want you to go to Hidden Clouds Village with Adachi Uchiha, Biwajazo, and say sorry, and collect information about the tailed beasts. Nagato's 6 Paths of Pain emotionlessly gave Orochimaru and the others a new task. Especially Orochimaru. Nagato didn't want this guy to be idle in the Akatsuki. The Akatsuki is not his shelter. If you want to stay in the Akatsuki, you must do something for the organization. If Orochimaru continues to disobey him, Nagato would do something to him directly. Chapter 241, The Two-Tailed Jinchuriki Delivered to the Door. The infamous Third Hokage echoes through the ninja world. Land of Thunder. The geographical environment of Land of Thunder is very special in the entire ninja world. The country is located in the towering continuous mountains, and the layered mountains are covered with wisps of clouds. The special geographical environment also creates a special architectural style. Each unique house is built on the top of the mountain, and the surroundings of the building are often accompanied by thunder. It's unknown how ordinary people can carry out daily life here. After all, to purchase supplies, you have to go up and down the mountain. After a round trip, the whole person is probably exhausted. The information says, the Whitebeard pirates have already left Hidden Leaf Village. Raikage's office. The burly and dark-skinned 4th Raikage is sitting on a chair. Humphrey. Looking at the information in his hand, I couldn't help but snort coldly. Only Hidden Leaf Village would be so weak when facing a pirate. Whenever that so-called Whitebeard dares to appear in our Hidden Clouds Village, I will let him know what Hidden Clouds Village's blue lightning is. From his words, it can be heard that the embarrassing incidents of Hidden Leaf Village when facing the Whitebeard pirates have spread throughout the ninja world. Especially the cowardly actions of the 3rd Hokage, Sarutobi Hiruzen, when facing Whitebeard, have already reached the Raikage's desk. Hey, yawned, the true disciple of the 4th Raikage. Darui, yawned, who is still just a 17 or 18-year-old boy. But he doesn't look flattering. A more emotionally intelligent way of saying it would be that he is mature for his age. A less emotionally intelligent way of saying it would be that he looks old. That kind of pirate, it's better not to appear in Hidden Clouds Village, after all, it's quite troublesome. Darui complained, perhaps it's precisely because Whitebeard is very powerful, that's why the 3rd Hokage of Hidden Leaf Village doesn't dare to fall out with Whitebeard. After all, if they fight with Whitebeard in the village, it will definitely hurt many innocent civilians. Perhaps, the 3rd Hokage of Hidden Leaf Village also has this consideration? The 4th Raikage, Tsk, if this kind of person cares about the safety of civilians, would he have allowed the 9-Tails Jinchuriki of Hidden Leaf Village to be bullied back then? Would he willingly hand over a person from the Hyuga clan to us? He looked down on Sarutobi Hiruzen, the 3rd Hokage. Because the ninja hero reputation has long been shattered due to various rumors spreading to the ninja world. As a Raikage, he always pays great attention to and treats the 2 Jinchuriki in the village well. But Sarutobi Hiruzen of Hidden Leaf Village wanted to establish a bond with the Jinchuriki in such a way. He is really cunning and deceitful. Yes. All kinds of conspiracy theories about the 3rd Hokage, Sarutobi Hiruzen, have long broken through the public opinion blockade of Hidden Leaf Village and spread throughout the ninja world. It makes many people in the ninja world, when mentioning Sarutobi Hiruzen, involuntarily put on a pair of colored glasses to look at this once Hidden Leaf Village ninja hero. In the final analysis, he is just old. Hidden Leaf Village has reached a very weak stage, so weak that they don't even dare to drive a so-called pirate out of their village. A slapped the office desk, and the sturdy office desk was directly shattered by his slap. You can imagine what an amazing strength it is. I calmed down and pondered, does this mean that Hidden Clouds Village can take a bite out of them when Hidden Leaf Village is at its weakest? Although the 3rd Ninja World War ended just a few years ago, and all the ninja villages are still in the stage of recuperation. But Hidden Clouds Village, which has always been more warlike, Doesn't care about what recuperation is. Steal the good things from Hidden Leaf Village, and then use them in their own village. Isn't that a disguised form of recuperation? The Jinchuriki of Hidden Leaf Village ran away with a pirate. How many high-end forces are left in the whole Hidden Leaf Village? I was pondering, we have 2 perfect Jinchuriki. He increasingly felt that the time to start a war had come. I looked at the proud disciple in front of him. Have the Nyujito returned to the village? Darue recalled. I don't think so yet. But it should be soon. TSK, I didn't expect her to be so slow. Meanwhile, on a sea route from Land of Fire to Land of Thunder, Nyujito, who is the Two-Tails Jinchuriki of Hidden Clouds Village, complained with a full face of displeasure. I ran all the way to Land of Fire, and all I got was a headless corpse. Yujito-sama, at least the result is good, isn't it? Next to him, a Hidden Clouds Village laughed. The death of the rebel ninja Imoi is also a good thing for the village. As soon as he finished saying this, he was met with a cold gaze. The cold and proud face of the 2 Yumikos had a hint of displeasure and dissatisfaction. I haven't laughed yet, what are you laughing at? Remember, before I laugh, none of you are allowed to laugh. This is an order in the name of the Nyujito of Hidden Clouds Village. The 2 ninjas of Hidden Clouds Village looked at each other. They could all see the helplessness in each other's eyes. Fortunately, they had long been accustomed to the strange personality of this Jinchuriki. Nyujito is a rather rare female Jinchuriki. She has long tea-colored hair tied into a waist-length twist at the back of her head, her skin is very fair, she wears a forehead protector of the Hidden Clouds Village on her forehead, and her lips are painted with lipstick. The skin color of the ninjas of Hidden Clouds Village has only 2 different extremes. They are either very dark or very white. If someone saw these 3 Hidden Clouds Village ninjas, they would be shocked to find that they were actually running on the sea. Yes, the 3 of them did not take a boat. Instead, they used the technique of stepping on water with chakra to walk on the sea as if on flat ground. Their speed is faster than a boat. The only drawback is that it severely consumes physical strength, but for Hidden Clouds Village, which is good at taijutsu, this small drawback does not exist at all. Not to mention that there is a perfect Jinchuriki here. If you lack chakra, you just need to borrow a little from the Jinchuriki. Yujito-sama. Look ahead. Just then, a ninja from Hidden Clouds Village suddenly widened his eyes and looked ahead. Nyujito looked forward, and even her cold expression couldn't help but show a hint of surprise. What a big ship! In the distance ahead, there was a sea ship sailing through the waves. Although the distance was far, a glance could tell that the ship in the distance was ridiculously large, like a moving island floating on the sea. Nyujito's beautiful eyes narrowed slightly. She could vaguely see that on the big ship, there seemed to be a very large flag hanging. But the distance was too far. She couldn't quite see what was drawn on the flag. Let's go and see. Nyujito's pleasant voice rang out again, she said. If that's a merchant ship, we can just run over and scrounge a meal. The last time we had hot food was several days ago. Yes. Yujito-sama. The 2 ninjas of Hidden Clouds Village immediately responded. The speed of their water stepping instantly doubled. They approached the big ship in front at a very fast speed. Whitebeard pirates. On the Moby Dick. 2111, 2112, 2113. Naruto was doing push-ups on the deck. He had a ton of weight on his back. Sasuke and Neji were still practicing against each other. This was already their 200th duel. Without any surprises, all 200 of their duels ended in a draw. Izumi and Shisui were also practicing against each other. Izumi is helping Shisui to master observation haki more proficiently, while Shisui is helping Izumi awaken observation haki. Kakashi, who was originally blushing and reading an erotic novel, was also forcibly pulled away to practice by Kisame. Moreover, Kisame also said a few words to Kakashi, since this eye of yours is the eye of someone called Obito Uchiha. His eye is Mangekyo Sharingan, then why isn't your eye? Is it possible that your eye is also Mangekyo Sharingan, but you are not aware of it, so you haven't awakened it? Kisame's short 2 sentences made Kakashi stunned. He thought Kisame made quite reasonable. So, Kakashi temporarily put down the erotic novel in his hand and pondered over Mangekyo Sharingan with Kisame. Karen and Hinata are practicing taijutsu. Karen uses the Hidden Leaf Village style taijutsu taught by Kakashi. Hinata uses the gentle fist of the Hyuga clan. Ino and Hiko are entangled together. Actually, Hiko wanted to practice with Neji. But Neji was taken away by Sasuke, and Ino was entangling him, so he could only practice with Ino. The key is, Hiko thinks Ino is quite scary. During the practice, there will inevitably be physical contact. When his chest was accidentally slapped by Ino, Hiko was stunned to find that Ino in front of him was actually bleeding from her nose. Hiko has seen male perverts. The famous Sanin Jiraiya is the biggest male pervert. But this is the first time he has seen a female pervert. Almost made Haku unable to cope. Iruka is on the other side, teaching dozens of children from the Uchiha clan. And among the survivors of the Uchiha clan, those adults are now the chef team of the Whitebeard Pirates. After all, the Whitebeard Pirates can't support them for nothing, plus, they are also a bit embarrassed to do nothing. Those temporarily hired sailors, on the other hand, are hurriedly controlling the Moby Dick. They dare not slack off in front of a group of pirates. Several cabins on the Moby Dick have been converted into medical rooms. This is where Tsunade, Shizune, and Kimimaro stay. Tsunade is holding a test tube in her hand, and the test tube contains Kimimaro's blood. After repeatedly restraining her fear of blood, when Tsunade looked at the blood with her eyes, her hands no longer trembled. But there is still a feeling of palpitations in her heart. Of course, this is because there is very little blood in the test tube. If she sees a lot of blood, Tsunade will definitely be triggered by hemophobia. TSK, you are not a bit terminally ill anymore. Tsunade glanced at Kimimaro. If Naruto Uzumaki didn't ask me to treat you, you would definitely not live past 20, and you might not even live past 16. Now your physical age is already close to 11, which means you only have 5 years of life. With my understanding of Orochimaru's medical skills, he will never be able to cure your genetic disease within 5 years. In terms of research ability, Tsunade admits that she is not as good as a hair of Orochimaru. But in terms of medical ninjutsu ability, 10 Orochimarus are definitely not as good as one Tsunade. Little kid, don't move around. You don't want your so-called Orochimaru-sama's vessel to die here, do you? Tsunade's palm was placed on Kimimaro's abdomen, and the chakra of medical ninjutsu gradually flowed into Kimimaro's body. The treatment time lasted for several minutes. Tsunade frowned and withdrew her hand. Then, Tsunade said to Shizune next to her, "Shizune, go and call Naruto over. I want to see if his tailed beast chakra can work." "Okay." Shizune, holding Taunton, quickly ran up. Looking at the bustling scene on the deck, Shizune still felt a bit emotional. Perhaps, the most leisurely man on the entire ship. Is Whitebeard? Whitebeard is not on the deck, he is probably taking a nap. Then, Shizune's gaze locked onto Naruto. 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 Shizune, holding Taunton, ran forward in small steps. Suddenly, she vaguely sensed something, and quickly turned her head to look to the side. In an instant, 3 figures appeared on the Moby Dick. They stood on the edge of the pirate ship's railing. At a glance, Shizune saw the forehead protector on their foreheads. The forehead protector of one of the 5 great ninja villages. Hidden Clouds Village. Shizune could not possibly not recognize it. These 3 people turned out to be ninjas from Hidden Clouds Village. Their sudden appearance also made the bustling Moby Dick suddenly fall into a deathly silence. Yujiro-sama, this doesn't seem to be a merchant ship. A messenger from Hidden Clouds Village looked around. He couldn't help but whisper. "I didn't see any goods on the deck. Did we come to the wrong place?" Yujiro didn't speak. Her gaze was also wandering on the deck. At first glance, she saw Shizune, who was close at hand and looked a bit dazed. This seemingly gentle person seems to be a ninja. This was Yujiro's first reaction when she saw Shizune, because she keenly noticed that there was a ninja tools bag tied to Shizune's right leg. Then, she saw a group of kids on the other end of the plank. There were too many children, so many that she wondered if this was a ship illegally trafficking children. But it didn't seem like it, because those kids weren't tied up, they looked quite free. Speaking of which, what pattern is embroidered on the clothes of those kids? Why does it look so much like the Uchiha clan's emblem? It can't all be people from the Uchiha clan, can it? Then, her gaze fell on Naruto. Yujiro couldn't help but be stunned. She saw Naruto's small body with a ton of weight on his back. Under such circumstances, he could still do push-ups with ease. Goodness! Is this kid's strength a bit exaggerated? Then, Yujiro saw the very conspicuous Hoshigaki Kisame. There was no way, Kisame's face was really hard to ignore. This guy is... Yujiro looked astonished. Hoshigaki Kisame of the 7 ninja swordsmen of Hidden Mist Village? At a glance, she recognized the uniquely looking Kisame. The one next to him. Kakashi Hatake of Hidden Leaf Village? She also recognized Kakashi. What kind of ship is this? Why are there people who seem to be from the Uchiha clan of Hidden Leaf Village on it? Why is there Hoshigaki Kisame from Hidden Mist Village? And Kakashi Hatake from Hidden Leaf Village? Hey, 3 uninvited guests have come. Kisame's gaze also fell on the 3 ninjas from Hidden Clouds Village. It's Hidden Clouds Village again. A few days ago, I just killed a Hidden Clouds Village ninja, and a few days later, 3 more Hidden Clouds Village ninjas popped up. TSK. Kisame said with interest to the 3 people, "Are you guys trying to avenge that guy?" "That guy? Who?" Yujiro was a bit confused about what Kisame meant. TSK, it seems you don't know anything. Is it just a coincidence? Kisame suddenly lost interest. If any of those three from Hidden Clouds Village showed the slightest hostility, Kisame would not hesitate to draw Seimata and fight them. Unfortunately, those three from Hidden Clouds Village did not go in the direction Kisame expected. Wait. Suddenly, a light bulb went off in Ryujito's mind. Is the guy you're talking about a Hidden Clouds Village rebel named Imoi? Is he a Hidden Clouds Village ninja who appears in the coastal areas of Land of Fire? Kisame stroked his chin thoughtfully. That guy is called Imoi. Indeed. Unexpectedly, the person who killed Imoi before her was Hoshigaki Kisame, one of the 7 ninja swordsmen of Hidden Mist Village. What a coincidence. But why would the 7 ninja swordsmen of Hidden Mist Village appear here? Why would they kill rebel ninja from Hidden Clouds Village? Just as she was about to ask something. Suddenly, in her mind, she heard the voice of Two Tails Matatabi. Yujito, I think I smell that fox. Yujito was taken aback. Fox? What fox? Journey said, Tailed beast, 9 tails, it's on your right. Yujito. At the same time, Kurama's voice also sounded in Naruto's mind. TSK, that big cat is here too. Stinky brat, one of those 3 people is a Jinchuriki just like you. Naruto. I don't know if it's a coincidence, or if there's a telepathy. Naruto's gaze and Yujito's gaze collided in midair. The first thought that came to Yujito's mind was, 9 Tails Jinchuriki? Isn't that from Hidden Leaf Village? It is said that the 9 Tails Jinchuriki of Hidden Leaf Village was abducted by the Whitebeard pirates. Wait. This can't be here. The first thought that came to Naruto's mind was, no way? The tailed beast that the Whitebeard pirates have been longing for, just came to the door? At this moment, Naruto has already lifted the weight he was carrying on his back, and he stood up. Uncle Kisame, Uncle Kakashi, Sister Shizune. Naruto reminded the 3 people closest to him, this person seems to be the same kind of person as me. The same kind of person? Kakashi was taken aback at first, then his dead fish eyes widened a bit. Naruto, do you mean this female ninja from Hidden Clouds Village is a tailed beast Jinchuriki? As soon as Kakashi's words fell. For some reason, Ryujito found that all the eyes on the entire ship were focused on her. They all ignored her 2 companions. The gaze of the other party made her indescribable. Anyway, it was very strange. It feels like being a fish on a chopping board. Yujito suddenly had a bad premonition. Chapter 242, One-on-one with the Whitebeard pirate crew? You're really brave. Jinchuriki? Kisame's disappointed expression once again turned interested. He looked at Ryujito with a bit of surprise. He didn't expect this fair-skinned, mature-looking female ninja to be the Jinchuriki that their Whitebeard pirate crew was looking for. Ha! Kisame grinned. How does that saying go? Something about iron shoes? Kisame-san, are you trying to say walking on my iron shoes till it broke, but I still cannot find it? Suddenly, I got it without any effort? She added from the side. Although I can't see what she looks like, I can vaguely feel that there is a very special aura about her. Shizue also slowly turned his head towards Ryujito's position. In the perception of observation haki, among the 3 Hidden Clouds Village ninjas, only Ryujito in the middle is the most special. Perhaps it's because Shizue lost a pair of eyes. His observation haki is constantly getting stronger. After all, he who has lost his eyes needs to use observation haki every moment to perceive everything around him. He is almost training observation haki 24 hours a day. Hidden Clouds Village's Jinchuriki. Neji clenched his fist, biting his lower lip. Hidden Clouds Village. His father, Hyuga Hisashi, became that scapegoat all because of Hidden Clouds Village's provocation against Hidden Leaf Village back then. In other words, the Hidden Clouds Village ninja who planned that operation is his, Neji Hyuga's enemy. However, Neji who joined the Whitebeard pirate crew has become less extreme in his thinking. He doesn't think that all the people of Hidden Clouds Village should be buried with his biological father. But the few people who led everything back then must pay the price with death. Haku and Ino exchanged a glance. Ino immediately nodded. She secretly hid behind Haku, and then her hands formed seals, ready to take action at any time. The Yamanaka clan's mind transfer jutsu is too suitable for sneak attacks. An elite Jonin being tricked by a geinin with this move, the elite Jonin will suffer. Back then, Ino controlled a Chunin guard of Hyugetsu with this move. Even if she can only control the other party for a brief second, it can also put the other party in a deadly situation. Izumi Uchiha's 3 Tomoe Sharingan has already been activated. Her other hand, even more autonomously reached for the hilt of the sword. Sasuke frowned, murmuring to himself. Jinchuriki? Is it the same type of existence as Naruto? Hinata swallowed a mouthful of saliva. When she looked at the 3 Hidden Clouds Village ninjas, she also had a hint of undisguised hostility. Because when she was young, she was kidnapped by a ninja from Hidden Clouds Village. Even worse, it caused the death of her brother Neji's father, her uncle Hyuga Hisashi. One should be Jonin, and the other 2 are Chunin. Karen reminded Hinata from the side. Hinata, be careful later. Hinata nodded heavily. Iruka also realized that something was not quite right. He quickly led a group of Uchiha children and some bewildered sailors to take refuge in the cabin of the Moby Dick. The atmosphere on the deck was very oppressive, and the air seemed to have quieted down. The sea breeze howled past, stirring everyone's hair and clothes. Yujiro-sama, it seems. The situation is a bit bad. A Hidden Clouds Village ninja next to her swallowed nervously, sweat breaking out on his forehead, and hurriedly reminded. If I'm not mistaken, they should be the Whitebeard pirates. Then, he looked up at the pirate flag fluttering above. At this moment, he finally saw what the pattern on it was. This Hidden Clouds Village ninja found that he seemed to have guessed right, because isn't that the flag pattern of the Whitebeard pirates? Another Hidden Clouds Village ninja, under this oppressive atmosphere, was also so nervous that his palms were somewhat moist. He also quickly lowered his voice and said to Yujiro. Yujiro-sama, when they found out that you are a Jinchuriki, their eyes seemed to change. Do you think I'm blind? Yujiro's eyebrows furrowed slightly, and she said coldly. Do you think I can't see it? Although there were some unexpected people in front of her, for a perfect Jinchuriki like Yujiro was nothing. Because she was very confident in her own strength and had enough confidence. Moreover, she also belonged to that kind of proud and aloof personality. In plain terms, Yujiro, like Obito Uchiha who had not fought with Whitebeard before, had a mysterious confidence in her own powerful strength. The difference from Obito is that she doesn't have that Uchiha-specific mental illness. It seems to be quite a coincidence. Yujiro spoke loudly, breaking the silent and oppressive atmosphere. You are the Whitebeard pirates who are causing trouble in the ninja world? She looked at Kisame, then at Kakashi. The famous Tailless Beast and Copy Ninja became rebel ninjas of Hidden Mist Village and Hidden Leaf Village, and also became members of the Whitebeard pirates? Ha! Strictly speaking, I'm not a rebel ninja. Kisame laughed grimly, because Hidden Mist Village is already under the command of the Whitebeard pirates. Which person in Hidden Mist Village would dare to regard him as a rebel ninja? But he didn't explain too much about this, but looked at Yujiro with some covetousness. By the way, which Jinchuriki are you? The tailed beast of Hidden Clouds Village. 2 tails? 8 tails? Humphrey. Yujiro snorted lightly. Do you think I would answer your question? She is the 2-tailed Jinchuriki. Naruto's voice suddenly interjected, because Naruto had asked Kurama in his heart, and Kurama casually answered. Yujiro's cold and beautiful face stiffened. How did this little brat know which Jinchuriki she was? Was it the 9 tails inside him who told him? Could he already communicate with the tailed beast inside him? Did the tailed beast inside him actually have the leisure to answer a little brat's question? You know, she, Yujiro, was only able to barely communicate with the Matetabi inside her when she was 10 years old. She could communicate normally when she was in her teens, and became a perfect Jinchuriki when she was 20. Being surpassed by a little brat made Yujiro, who prided herself as a perfect Jinchuriki, feel a bit uncomfortable. Miss Jinchuriki from Hidden Clouds Village, you're a bit unlucky today. Naruto stretched his limbs, speaking to the 3 Hidden Clouds Village ninjas without mincing words, because we have recently decided to capture all the tailed beasts. Originally, we were planning to travel a long way to Hidden Clouds Village to capture your 2 tails and 8 tails, but we didn't expect that you actually delivered yourself to our doorstep. Yujiro. The Whitebeard pirate crew wants to capture all the tailed beasts in the entire ninja world? This is not a small piece of information. And this also means that the 2 sides have instantly become enemies. Yujiro's eyes narrowed slightly. She said to the 2 Hidden Clouds Village ninjas next to her, you 2 go back to the village immediately, tell this information and inform Teraikage. I will hold these people here. Yujiro-sama. Shut up. This is an order. Are you going to disobey my order? Yes, no I mean no. The 2 Hidden Clouds Village ninjas wanted to leave immediately, but just as they moved, 2 shurikens flew out. These were shurikens thrown by Sasuke. Yujiro was quick and alert, reaching forward with both hands, she caught the 2 shurikens. But she didn't expect that this was just a feint by Sasuke. Taking advantage of the gap when Yujiro blocked the shurikens for the 2 Chunin, Sasuke directly chased after a Hidden Clouds Village Chunin on the left. Neji followed closely behind Sasuke. Surprisingly, Hinata also chased after them with Sasuke and Neji. Ino. Do it. The one on the right. Don't let him run. Haku immediately said to Ino behind him. Ninja Art Mind Body Switch Technique. Ino, who had been secretly prepared, clapped her hands. When Ino's body suddenly went limp, Haku quickly supported Ino's body. Meanwhile, the Chunin from Hidden Clouds village on the right was struck directly. He was frozen in place as he attempted to flee. Ino's consciousness forcibly squeezed out the consciousness of this Hidden Clouds village Chunin. Under Ino's control, this Hidden Clouds village Chunin did not run towards the sea, but ran towards them instead. Uzumaki secret technique adamantine sealing chains. Faashi immediately made a move, her palm surged with a large number of golden tiny chains, the chains interlaced, forming a large net. The controlled Hidden Clouds village Chunin was directly included in the net. Soon, Ino's consciousness returned to her body. She felt like she had been drained, her body was sweating profusely, and her voice was weak. 2 seconds, that's the limit. The Hidden Clouds village Chunin who was trapped in the net came to his senses, and was shocked to find that he had been caught. He wanted to struggle, but how could the sealing technique of the Uzumaki clan be easily broken free? Damn it. What just happened? Why did my mind suddenly go blank? The Hidden Clouds village Chunin was sweating profusely. He hurriedly pulled out a kunai and slashed at the net. Dinkling. His kunai was shattered, and the golden net was still intact. Ino, good job. Haku exclaimed with admiration, is this the secret technique of the Yamanaka clan? It's really amazing. Haku praised me. And, I'm in Haku's arms now. At this moment, Ino felt like she had fallen into a sea of happiness. She became somewhat ecstatic. Unfortunately, she was too tired to say another word. Ino didn't faint from exhaustion, purely because the special training she had with the Whitebeard pirates over the past 10 days had significantly improved her physical fitness. These two troublesome guys. Nayujito knew that if she didn't act now, they wouldn't be able to escape. Boom. The tail beast chakra visible to the naked eye surged on the surface of Nayujito's skin, and in the blink of an eye, it turned into a long tail and appeared behind her. The shape of the tail was like a Maine Coon cat's tail, but there wasn't a single hair on it, because this was a tail condensed from dark blue flames made of chakra. On the tail, there were also clusters of patterns, which at first glance looked like the patterns of burning flames, and a bit like the patterns of a devil fruit. Under the surging chakra, even the air around her was distorted. Fire style, fire rat ball. The fire style ninjutsu combined with the power of the tailed beast chakra, and the flames spewed from her mouth were also blue. A ball of blue flame in the shape of a rat spewed out from Nayujito's mouth. The next second, the flames surprisingly dispersed, heading straight for every member of the Whitebeard pirates in front of her. Kisame blocked it with Samada. Samada unceremoniously swallowed a ball of flame. Ice style, ice wall. Haku, on the other hand, was supporting Ino with one hand and slapped the ground with the other. A wall of ice rose from the ground, and the blue flames fell on the ice wall, melting a large hole in the ice wall, but the flames were also neutralized. Izumi Uchiha and Shizue Uchiha both drew their swords at the same time, both of them slashing the flames that were attacking them. Izumi Uchiha also took the time to help Faashi next to her shatter a ball of blue flame. Kakashi sighed helplessly. Under the super dynamic vision of the 3 Tomoe Sharingan, he dodged the attack with a sidestep. Naruto was the most direct and brutal one. Because he actually clenched a fist and smashed it towards that ball of flame. With the wrapping of armament haki, his fist was not burned. On the contrary, the flames were shattered by his punch. Naruto rubbed his hands together, revealing a brilliant smile and said, "Big Sister Jinchuriki, you are definitely the first person in history to dare to take action against almost all members of the Whitebeard pirates by yourself." After saying this sentence, Naruto took the initiative to rush towards Nayujito. Rasengan. Naruto held a Rasengan in his hand, and his speed was so fast that Nayujito was quite surprised. The air current stirred by the Rasengan was clearly visible to the naked eye, and Nayujito had no doubt about the power of this ninjutsu. Nayujito immediately sidestepped to dodge. Just as she narrowly dodged the Rasengan, a sword suddenly slashed from the right side and was caught by the corner of her eye. She immediately raised her hand to block. Her fingernails suddenly extended to 10 to 20 centimeters, and the ninja sword was slashed on her claw-like nails. Clang! The crisp sound of metal collision rang out, and a cluster of sparks also splashed out. Nayujito turned her head to look, and 2 red eyes with black tomoe were reflected in her eyes. Sharingan. Izumi Uchiha used the 3 Tomoe Sharingan to directly put a Genjutsu on Nayujito. But Nayujito was not affected at all. She swung Izumi Uchiha's sword away, and swung her claws towards Izumi's neck. Clang! Another sword came in. It was Shizue who made a move, helping Izumi block the opponent's attack. Sharingan Genjutsu is very difficult to work on a perfect Jinchuriki. After explaining a sentence, Shizue immediately killed towards Nayujito. Just a few moves, and Nayujito was forced to retreat. Who are you? Nayujito looked at Shizue with an incredulous face. Shizue of the body flicker from Hidden Leaf Village? Shizue hooked the corner of his mouth. Let me correct that, it's Shizue of the body flicker from the Whitebeard pirate crew. The next second, Shizue split into 2, then 4. In the blink of an eye, he turned into more than a dozen figures. More than a dozen Shizues killed towards Nayujito together, making Nayujito unable to tell which one was the real body. Realizing that something was wrong, the tailed beast chakra that emerged on her body surface suddenly surged several times. Her whole momentum also rises a lot. She was not only the tail appeared blue twisted pattern of chakra, even her body was wrapped in such a layer of chakra. The one tail behind Nayujito also turned into 2 tails, and her whole body was wrapped in the outer garment of the tailed beast chakra. She also changed from a standing posture to a 4-legged posture. The 2 long tails behind her were constantly swinging and waving. This is the half-beast transformation of the Jinchuriki. When Shizue's ninja sword blade slashed on her body, Shizue felt as if his sword was slashing on steel. Not only did it not break Nayujito's tailed beast chakra coat, but the rebounding power made Shizue's arm feel a bit numb. Fire style, great fireball. Barrage jutsu. Nayujito suddenly jumped to the midair of more than 10 meters, opened her mouth and spat out one huge fireball after another towards the bottom. Each blue huge fireball has a diameter of no less than 3 meters, like a burning meteor falling down. TSK. You can't destroy the Moby Dick. Kisame quickly formed seals with both hands, and Kakashi, who was standing with him, was also forming seals. The seals formed by the 2 were exactly the same. Water style, great shark barrage jutsu. Kisame opened his mouth and spat out 17 giant sharks, and Kakashi spat out 3, showing the difference between their chakra volume. A full 20 giant sharks rushed into the sky, colliding with the blue flames falling down. The flames and water flow were constantly cancelling each other out. A large amount of steam spread over the sea surface. Whoosh! Whoosh! On the other side, Shizue Uchiha and Izumi Uchiha also jumped up at the same time. The 2 of them appeared on the left and right sides of Nayujito. Fire style, great fireball. Fire style, great fireball. The signature ninjutsu of the Uchiha clan, from left to right, bombarded towards Nayujito in the middle. Boom boom boom. The collision of the fire style, great fireball, caused a fierce explosion. No matter how powerful the fire style is, it's useless to me. Nayujito's voice became layered. It was as if she was speaking at the same time as the tailed beast inside her body. The 2 long tails behind her, like 2 long whips, swung towards Shizue and Izumi. Izumi hurriedly raised her sword to block, but the huge force directly knocked her into the sea. Shizue's figure became illusory, and the tail passed through his body, which was also Shizue's teleportation jutsu. Just then, Nayujito looked up, because she keenly sensed that there was a very cold chakra above her head. Immediately, she saw Naruto, who was also wrapped in a tail beast coat like her, holding a huge Rasengan and smashing it towards her head. Naruto Uzumaki style armament Haki Great Fox Power Rasengan. Chapter 243, Perfect Tailed Beast Transformation. Whitebeard, Gorara. It's really lively outside. The Rasengan in Naruto's hand has a diameter of 20 to 30 centimeters. When the Rasengan made intimate contact with Nayujito's head, Nayujito's skull even sank a bit. The power of the Rasengan explosion smashed her entire body down into the sea, accompanied by a loud roar. The tail beast chakra coat on Nayujito's head was blasted open, revealing half of her fair and beautiful face. You can see that on that face, there is also a strong sense of incredulity and shock. Nayujito people find it hard to imagine that the little brat who looks so small can so easily use the power of the tailed beast. The key is, how did the other party use the power of the tailed beast so skillfully? How did he do it? Could it be because the 9 tails inside him has a very good temper, even better than her 2 tails? Bang! Nayujito, who was smashed into the sea, stirred up waves several meters high. Also at the same time, Izumi Uchiha, who had been whipped by her tail and smashed into the sea earlier, held a sword and stabbed at her exposed face. Nayujito was startled. The tailed beast chakra immediately filled the vacant part. The sword stabbed on the tailed beast chakra coat. Izumi Uchiha, whose attack was ineffective, immediately swam backward. Then she broke through the waves, using the technique of chakra stepping on water, and stood on the sea's surface again. Nayujito also followed and broke out of the sea. But just as she surfaced, several ninjutsu smashed down on her. Fire style, fire dragon flame bullet. Shizue spat out 3 huge fire dragons from his mouth, heading towards Nayujito from 3 different directions. Although the burning flames of fire-style ninjutsu can't cause any damage to the 2-tailed Jinchuriki, The impact of the explosion of fire-style ninjutsu should not be underestimated. Water-style, great spiral technique. Kisame also jumped down from the Moby Dick, and slapped the sea under his feet hard. The seawater under Nayujito's feet suddenly appeared a whirlpool that bound her feet. It was extremely difficult to pull her feet out. Lightning-style, roaring thunder technique. Kakashi spat out a ball of spherical lightning from his mouth. The speed of the lightning even surpassed Shishui's 3 fire dragons and landed on Nayujito first. The crackling arc explosion made Nayujito's whole body enveloped in a ball of lightning. The next moment is 3 huge fire dragons, bombarding Nayujito from 3 different directions. Boom boom boom. The amazing explosion caused by the collision of lightning and flames. Even the seawater around Nayujito was pushed out a bit. Izumi Uchiha, who was relatively close to Nayujito, was pushed back several steps by this shock wave. Wind-style, vacuum great sphere. After the shock wave from the explosion dissipated, Naruto's wind-style followed closely. The high-pressure wind bullet spat out from Naruto's mouth was as large as 5 meters in diameter. It made Nayujito, who was hit by fire-style and lightning-style, unable to dodge this huge wind bullet at all. The moment she was hit by the wind bullet, Nayujito was like being hit head-on by a rocket with astonishing power. Once again, her entire body was thrown into the sea. Cough cough cough. The various ninjutsu that fell on her caused Nayujito to get injured. She spat out a mouthful of blood, and the blood drifted away with the tumbling seawater. The power mastered by the Whitebeard pirate crew was beyond her imagination. In the form of half-beast transformation. Facing these people from the Whitebeard pirate crew, she couldn't gain even a bit of advantage. Matatabi. Nayujito called out to the tailed beast inside her body and her heart, "I'm counting on you this time. I absolutely can't be caught by these pirates from the Whitebeard pirate crew. I'll let you out for some exercise." Okay. Compared to Kurama, who has a very bad temper, Matatabi's temper is much gentler. Her temperament is more like a very strong summoned beast compared to the tailed beast. It was also at this time that the tailed beast chakra inside Nayujito completely burst out to an extreme. SSA. The intense pain made her couldn't help but let out a scream. Because her skin, muscles, bones were disintegrating bit by bit, crumbling bit by bit. The muscles and bones gradually formed by the power of the tailed beast began to reorganize in her body. Nayujito's form underwent earth-shaking changes. Her body size was visibly swelling upwards. The layers of chakra blue flames that enveloped her body were very turbulent, and the flames could burn violently in the seawater. In just a few seconds, the seawater had been burned to boiling. A large amount of steam began to roll upwards. The seawater is so hot. Izumi Uchiha felt that if she didn't wear a pair of shoes, she was afraid that the soles of her feet would have been scalded. Realizing that something was not good, Izumi Uchiha hurriedly jumped up, stepped on the ship's body, climbed quickly, and returned to Moby Dick. Ha ha ha. Brat, that woman is about to start perfect beast transformation. Kurama gloated, or you can directly tear off the seal of the sealing space, and let the Nine-Tailed Sama also let you experience what is called perfect beast transformation? Naruto ignored Kurama's instigation. Because he knew that the purpose of this big fox was definitely not as pure as what it said. What an amazing chakra fluctuation, it's even affecting the surrounding environment. The sea's surface is burning with blue flames. Kisame also jumped onto Moby Dick. In his line of sight, the seawater below was burning with raging flames. No wonder she said that fire-style ninjutsu has no effect on her. The tailed beast inside her body should specialize in fire ability, and this is not ordinary fire. Seeing this scene, Izumi Uchiha was amazed. How can normal ordinary flames burn in seawater? It feels like there is a huge monster hidden in the seabed. It's troublesome. As expected, a perfect Jinchuriki is not so easy to take down. Kakashi's dead fish eyes were full of helplessness. It's coming out. Shishui, who was next to him, noticed the movement of the seawater below with his observation haki. Also at the moment when his words fell, the sea surface suddenly exploded a large hole with a diameter of tens of meters. The crazy rolling seawater and the surging waves even made the huge Moby Dick sway from side to side. A tailed beast of enormous size leaped out from the bottom of the sea. It's probably only a bit smaller than the perfect tailed beast form of the fourth Mizukage. Placed in the sea, it's definitely a colossal creature. The two tails, Matatabi, leaped up like a giant whale in the sea. But this is clearly not the shape of a whale, but a huge blue flame two-tailed cat. The terrifying aura from the tailed beast also spread out, causing Ino, who was already weak and powerless, to be so shocked by the sight of this huge creature that she fainted. She tied up the Hidden Clouds village Chunin who had been trapped by her, and temporarily sealed the chakra in his body. Then she also looked up at the terrifying creature in front of her. Is this the two tails? Although it doesn't look as big as the three tails of the fourth Mizukage, it's probably two-thirds the size of the three tails. She murmured in shock. What's with this blue flame? Why does it feel darker than the blue flame she used before? The surrounding temperature rose rapidly with Nuyujito's perfect-tailed beast transformation, causing everyone present to break out in sweat. Hey, fire that's not afraid of water, isn't his tourist training for my water style? Although Kisame said so, there was no worry on his face, but rather a kind of eager excitement. This flame should also be formed by chakra, right? Can my Saimata eat all the flames? If we don't deal with her quickly, we're going to be roasted into jerky by the flames on her body. Kakashi felt a dry mouth. We still have to lead her to a farther place, otherwise the children on the ship won't be able to stand it.